Going live. You are live, everybody. I'm live, you live, we live. Double tap hit the like button. Oh, man. Double tap hit the like button, everybody. Double tap hit the like button. We are live today in the Purpose of My Podcast. How's everybody doing, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Live in the Purpose of My Podcast, man. What's up with you, everybody? How we doing today, everybody? How's we doing? Double tap hit the like button. Yeah, that's what I want to see, man. That's what I want to see. How y'all want to see it, man? How y'all want to see it, man? How y'all want to see it, man? How y'all want to see it? This is it right here. It's a terrific Tuesday. We got a lot going today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about as you come in the live stream. Double tap hit the like button. I want to say thank you to everybody. Let's start it off with a big thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you to YouTube. Watch it. Remember, welcome to the live stream. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Again, remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Welcome everybody to the live stream. Welcome. We are live. Thank you for showing up. And I like to say at the beginning, welcome to the live stream, and remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. It's so important that you do that. Double tap hit the like button as you come in. Double tap hit the like button. How's everybody doing this morning? We're going to have a good podcast today. Good podcast conversation. Perfect Time of Podcast. Come on in, double tap at the like button. We have new video footage today. We going all around today. We got ICE. We got TDA. How y'all like TDA? Do we like TDA or because TDA sounds too close to that other three-letter acronym, but you know, Tren de Aragua, you know what I'm saying, in Utah. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Come on in, man. Double tap at the like button. How's all my MAGA Knights, my deplorables doing today? Very high energy, very max base podcast, #1 podcast for politics, geopolitics in the land, #1 debate, thousands of views, millions of views. The chat room be going crazy. That's why you need to subscribe, hit the like bell, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then when you subscribe, you're going to get a plus sign. That plus sign is going to enable you to join the podcast so you can be lit up in the chat, so you can get your comment lit up, because the chat be moving so fast. People be wanting to get their comments lit up so that people understand what's going on. So the way that you get your comment highlighted, you can put it in the super chat. Thank you to everybody that's hit the super chats yesterday, or you can go ahead and join the channel. I prefer you do both. Join the channel, become a member, use the super chat, and we're going to have another conversation today. We got some fake video came out of another guy. I guess I broke the story. And you know what we say, I was right. I guess I broke the story on the ICE watching the tactics, because I got another video, and I think this video is from, I don't know, Ohio, but they're all over. This is Tennessee. I got another video in Tennessee where they're doing the same thing, the same tactics. I don't know what's going on, but I think I'm the first one who really laid it out that these are tactics. These are not spontaneous, organic events, that they have been trained. And this is, a lot of people in my chat yesterday were using the word operative, right? These are trained opposition to the ICE agents. This got to be a difficult job. But the latest video is an individual who jumped in front of an ICE agent's vehicle and then put out a fake video that said that he got ran over. But thank God that we have real video that shows that he didn't actually get hit by the car. So we're going to go over that. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to bounce around. We're going to bounce around for Minnesota fraud. We got Trump in Detroit right now. Talking about the economic forum. Today is Terrific Tuesday. Put it in the chat how you feel about tariffs right now. Put in the chat how you understand and know tariffs. It's so important. I got new perspectives on the ICE shooting in Minnesota with Renee Good. So what we got yesterday is we had a first-hand account from a neighbor. We have another video from a neighbor on the other side. What everybody's looking for right now is the wife. If you guys recall, so far we've gotten video from several different angles, including the ICE agent who was actually filming and who did the shooting, right? And then we got video yesterday from a neighbor after the event when the car crashed. Now, today I got a new video from another neighbor from another side of the street, and she's having a different perspective. So we just gonna keep following this story and presenting to you all the data that we can find and let you guys make the decision. Double tap at the like button. First in the chat, get shouted out. First in the chat, get shouted out without a doubt. I got KNC and Red, my man, in the building. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Double tap at the like button. Good to see you, brother. I see Mike Hurd in the building, man. Patricia in the building. Aaron in the building. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Fig. I can't say that, man. I can't say that. Double tap at the like button. So we got a lot of new evidence today. We got a lot. We got the Fed chair with a brand new message. I don't know. I didn't get to it yesterday. Fed chair Jerome Powell being indicted. How much do you guys know about Fed chair Jerome Powell being indicted? He has a rebuttal. He has a rebuttal to that indictment. Where we want to start? Do we want to start in Tennessee? Do we want to start in Minnesota? Do we want to start in Tennessee? I think we want to start in Tennessee and show this video in Tennessee. And then don't forget, if you see my thumbnail, we also going to talk about the Somalians and Trump ending the TPS being ended for the Somalians. Can we get a hand clap for that in the chat? Can I get a hand clap from the greatest president with the most prolific second term ever? Donald Trump just ended the TPS for 2,500 Somalis and set March 2026 departure. I have been talking a lot about how ICE finds certain individuals, right? Everybody been saying ICE been doing this, ICE been doing that. I actually have video proof of how ICE is going from door to door and the process of having someone who's committed a crime in America and has been given an order to leave by Biden, but nobody ever made him leave, and then Trump is just the one going around wiping up the butts. Double tap at the like button. What's up with you, David? What's up with you, David? Let's go to the first video that we got. Let's go to the first video. Let's go to Tennessee because it's a quick one. Let's get it out the way. It's a quick one because we're going to show, we want to teach everybody what's going on, really, because Renee Good just highlighted a lot, right? So it's a tragedy what happened to that young lady. It's absolute tragedy what happened to her, right? Rest in peace. God bless her children. She was a mother of 3. I don't know if you know her. If this is your first time here, double tap at the like button. We've been first with everything. Go P in the building. Go P. Money for the plate, man. Double tap at the like button, man. Money, keep with him, brother, man. Thank you so much, Go P. See a super chat. Send a super chat. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Let me highlight that right there, and let me show that right there, man. Double tap at the like button. See a super chat. Send a super chat. Go P. What we talking about this morning is tactics that a lot of people, I seen the conversation this morning at the Roger Report, and y'all had a fire conversation. A lot of people was wondering, and a lot of people wondered this yesterday also, what happened and what was happening in the Minnesota street that day. So I got firsthand account from a new neighbor, and she's being honest about the fact of what she saw. But yesterday I showed the flyer. So what people don't know about Renee Good and what happened is—
Get out! Come here!
Hold on, let me pause this. Let me pause this line, my recap from yesterday. So, Go P, I heard y'all conversation this morning. So what people don't know about Renee Good is that the ice, baby. Too cold. It's like ice, baby. Just go back home. You got to dance when you do that. Ice, baby. Too cold. It's like ice, baby. Just go back home. Come on, baby. Double tap at the like button. #1 podcast in the land. #1 W chat. I got the hottest chat, man. W chat. I got the hottest chat. Ice, baby. Check it out. So I'm doing a recap from yesterday before we get into this video. So yesterday, what we talked about is Renee Good and Becca Good and their 6-year-old child in the elementary school in Minneapolis. A lot of people are wondering, even Anderson Cooper, there was huge questions yesterday. They were like, why is she there? Why is she perpendicular? So we did the research on this channel. Double tap at the like button. You're at the #1 channel, the #1 for conversation, the #1 for domestic issues and geopolitics on YouTube, the #1 chat room. You can just look at the views, look at the thumbnail, look at the description. You in the #1 place if you want to discuss this. A lot of people was wondering why we're seeing these same things with individuals blocking the road and white women throwing themselves, like JD Vance said, white women throwing themselves in front of ICE agents. Well, come to find out, when we did our research, Go Pete, Mike, you remember, you were here yesterday. When we did our research, we found out that Becca Good and Renee Good were part of an anti-federal opposition called Minnesota ICE Watch. These ICE Watch programs exist in all Democratic sanctuary cities and enclaves. Did anybody know that? These things exist in all Democratic sanctuary cities and enclaves, right? So what we learned is that she recently, number one, they both was out of work. That's what we learned. They both were out of work, right? And then she recently moved back to Minneapolis from KC. We learned about her moving to Canada when Trump became president because she was so sick that she couldn't live in America. That's what we heard. But then she's on welfare. They both on welfare. She lost her kids in a divorce, so she's living in Minneapolis. She drops off her son. She just moved back there. She drops off her son at an elementary school. Now, this particular elementary school in Minneapolis is quoted as being what they call a woke school that focuses on activism with children. Now, to bolster this, just in case you haven't heard, there are protests all over Minneapolis where high school students are leaving class supported by their parents. I don't understand that. This is why the Department of Education was shut down. Double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like. This is why the Department of Education was shut down, because we have leaders and we have teachers, part of the Minnesota ICE Watch. We have teachers helping the students leave high school. So you have Minnesota ICE Watch. She gets pamphlets and flyers on days before the event. Listen to this, man. Days before the event, there was a Zoom call because a lot of people didn't know what she was doing and why she was there. Days before the event, there was a Zoom call that she learned about at the school. She got pamphlets about Minnesota Watch at her son's 6-year-old son. Keep this in mind. She got pamphlets and JD Vance said she was radicalized. Vice President JD Vance, how was she radicalized? Well, JD Vance, brother, I did the research. She got radicalized at a Minneapolis school where her 6-year-old went to school. This is where she got the pamphlets. This is where she got invited to the Minnesota ICE Watch Zoom call. On the Minnesota ICE Watch Zoom call, they gave instructions on what to do to disrupt ICE protests and ICE arrests. One of the instructions was blocking the cars. Now, then I played the chief of police in Chicago. The chief of police, now look at this video, everybody. Look at this video. As we talk about this, look at the video on the screen. Now, I'm explaining to you the tactics of ICE Watch. They're in Tennessee. We're in Tennessee, but ICE Watch is all over these sanctuary cities. Now, look at what we have happening.
Move! Get out of my way! Get out of my way! Move! 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 Move!
Do you see this? Do you see? So I'm giving you a recap, my brother, because y'all had a great conversation this morning. I love the Roger Report. Everybody like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe to Gold P. So I love the conversation. So what you are seeing here is trained tactics. These people are not doing this by accident. We've also exposed the fact that they've also been paid. But what they've been done is on these Zoom calls, they are saying block the cars and put white bodies, specifically, bro. I know you might not believe me. I know it might sound salacious, but I showed the actual flyer. How many people? Where my brother Mike Hurt, FBA? What Tammy at? Where all my people at? I need y'all to join the channel. W Trump. I need y'all to join the channel because when I ask for support, I need that support, man. But yesterday we showed the flyers. Yesterday we showed the Zoom call invitation. Yesterday we showed the organizations like this have what they call manifestos, and they have like mission statements, right? What it said was block the cars, right? And use white bodies. Specifically, it said use white bodies. So when we see specifically white women and when we see specifically cars being blocked, you guys got to understand that this was not spontaneous. This was not organic. This was by design. Let's look at this video one more time. Look at this video one more time and think about Think about what you're seeing as I talk to you about ICE Watch, Zoom calls, Instagrams. Now, as we talk about this, there's so many things we can extrapolate. We can go back to the Dallas shooting. We can go back to the Charlie Kirk assassination. We can go back to Discord chat rooms, right? When we talk about these Zoom calls, when we talk about these Instagram, when we talk about Becca Good posting about being active in this group and saying, we are uncovering a lot about how and the predictability of some of these individuals and some of these groups who are prone to violence. I even showed yesterday, if you didn't watch my podcast yesterday, you got, because I even show in the pamphlet, they have actual, you know, when you learn karate, Gold P, I know you know how to physically defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? I know you know how to physically defend yourself. But in the pamphlet, they show how to physically get involved with ICE arresting somebody and detaining somebody. And then they said, be careful because you may be arrested for assaulting an officer. Then I played the video again from Chicago Chief, where the Chicago Chief said, you can get, this could be deadly force. There's no, I can't blame an officer for assuming that you're trying to kill him and then that officer returning force with deadly force. The chief of police said, if you greet an officer with force, they're trained to return force with deadly force. In the pamphlet, they are teaching members of ICE Watch, mothers, white women. They are recruiting white bodies. No one else is talking about this. No one else is talking about this on any social media. It takes independent media to do the proper research, to go in depth to what is actually happening in our American streets. Let's go to the video right now. Let's go look at what's going on in Tennessee. Again, ICE Watch doing as trained, similar to what got Renee Good injured, fatality. Look at what's going on in our country.
Move! Get out of my way! Get out of my way! Move! 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 Get out! Come here!
It's almost unbelievable, right? This is, and then you be like, what is he doing? What empowers these individuals to get in front of a moving vehicle, to do that to an officer? You know, this is what they're dealing with, right? This is what they're dealing with. And so if people are wondering, was she was she parallel? She was just I heard all type of outlandish. I heard she lives on that street. Oh, she was just turning. No, Renee Good was leading the protest of Minnesota ICE Watch. I got video proof. The reason why I'm showing this video that we're showing here today is because this person right here, if you look at it, we're gonna play it with no sound. This person right here took this video. So as I watch the video, all of us might say, why did he do this right here? Why did he do this right here? Well, the reason why he did that is because he wanted to crop it out. He wanted to crop it out and say he was hit by the car, right? The goal of the entire thing was to ignite violence. And so the independent media obtained the actual, this is the video that was posted to social media by ICE Watch groups, right? To ignite violence. This is the video that was posted to social media by ICE Watch groups, right? To get people riled up. And then so independent media had to go and find the actual video. Independent media had to go and find the actual video, the driver cam footage of what actually happened, because they put this out and tried to get, I think they're trying to incite violence. What do you think in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat. Do you think they're putting these videos out to incite violence, or they're putting these videos out because they believe ICE is too violent? Put 1 in the chat. Do you think it's propaganda, or do you think it's legitimate that ICE is really out here being violent? Put a 1 in the chat, because what we actually saw, we're going to play the real video. This is what was put out. Who was that right there in the chat? Who said that? Somebody said a powerful word. Red Patriot 32. Red Patriot, that's a powerful word. Because yesterday, Red Patriot, what I said to the audience is, what is actually happening in the streets of America? And I said, you know, this happened in Germany in the 40s, and that led to a global conflict. The last time people was handing out leaflets and pamphlets, you know, Red Patriot, Tammy, I see you in the building. You know, the last time somebody was handing out leaflets and pamphlets that was anti, you know, I don't want to get into it. That's not that, we're not going that deep today. We're not going that. This is just a YouTube podcast. This is a YouTube podcast. You got to go somewhere else for that. But I saw your comment. I can't read it. I can't say the word. I can't highlight the comment, but I acknowledge you, brother. I acknowledge you, brother, because I'm wondering what is happening when a mother of 3 children gets radicalized. These are JD Vance words, not mine. Double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like button. These are JD Vance. Hit the subscribe. These are Vice President, not Tim Walz. Tim Walz is bad. Tim Walz is done. Can I get a Tim Walz is done? Can I get a Tim? Hashtag. And if Tim Walz is done, Kamala is done. Kamala, is she black? I don't mind if she black. If she want to be black, she could be black. But what the borders are? They both done. They both done. So, brother, I went with Red Patriot. What does it mean when you have pamphlets and leaflets like this, and then a mother of 3 children gets radicalized, like Vice President J.D. Vance said, at a school? I mean, a school for a 6-year-old. It's at a school for a 6-year-old. Can I get at a school for a 6-year-old? She gets invited to a Zoom call at a school for a 6-year-old. She gets trained how to block ICE at a Zoom for a 6-year-old. At a school. I can't make this up. At a school for a 6-year-old. So, Red Patriot, brother, I know a lot of people might get mad at you, but I ain't mad at you, brother, because there's certain things. This is why I got the livest chat. W chat. I got the livest chat on YouTube. Shout out to your brother Mike Hurd. Shout out to you, KM. I got the W chat. I got the livest chat because they say some things I can't even say. They say some things. You know where we going. This is why we doing the broadcast, to educate. We want to educate and elect. No lazy intellectualism over here. No lazy intellectualism over here. So my brother Gold P came in the chat and I wanted to do a recap. I said my brother Gold P came in the chat and I wanted to do a recap as we go into our first video, as we look at the tactics being trained to mothers, tactics being trained to beautiful white women. Do you know we love the white women? Do you know we love the white women? To beautiful white women, a mother of 3. A mother of 3. She wasn't learning better tools and ways to mother and raise those children to be great Americans, right? She learned how to become opposition to federal agents, how to block them and use her white body. The literature literally said, you look at this video I'm playing right now. For those of you who disagree, he took one video and made it into this. This is what they're trained to do. Let's show the dash cam footage of what actually happened. Let's show the dash cam.
Move! Get out of my way! Get out of my way! Move! 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 Get out! Come here!
Nobody hit. He's swinging like a monkey bar on the police vehicle. He uses that footage to frame an officer. We already got an officer the other day reassigned. These protesters are going home and they are calling their congressperson. So we as conservatives, we have to be vigilant in the same way and diligent in the same I just made up a word. I just made up a word, man. Hey, man. Hey, double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like. Oh, man. I accidentally banned Mike. I didn't mean to do that. How do I undo that? Damn it. I was trying to get the other dude, Mike. I don't know how to get you back, man. I got to get my boy back, man. How do I get my boy back, man? I got to get my boy back, man. I was trying to get you back, man. I got to get my boy back. Let's play the video again.
my way! Get out of my way! Move! 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 Get out! Come here! Move! Get out of my way!
Took this video, this right here became this. You see that right there? That right there became this. And you got to ask yourself why. That right there became, not that brother right there, that right there became this. That right there became this. And you got to ask yourself why. That right there became this. And you got to ask yourself why. Man, anybody familiar with StreamYard, man, so I can get my brother back, man? Man, oh man, I done got my brother up out of here, trying to get rid of you guys. And I gotta leave. I'm gonna leave the chat alone, man. I'm gonna leave the chat alone because I done got my brother up out of here. Let's go. Let's go. Double tap hit the like button, man. Y'all rock with me for a second. Mike got accidentally kicked out the chat. Let's see if we can get him back. Let's see if we can get him back. Let's see if we, how you like this Colts, man? How you like this Colts, man? Let me see if I can get him back. Thanks for the jewels, man. Thanks for the jewels. Thanks for the jewels. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Double tap, hit the like button and subscribe. Oh, man. What's up with you, Terry, man? What's up with you, man? Hey, and I got these big-ass glasses, so you would think with these big-ass glasses, Billy French, man, what's up with you, Billy French, man? You would think with these big-ass glasses, I would be able to see better, man. The chat be moving so fast, man. So I might have to do it at another time, Mike. Just watch. Unfortunately, you won't be able to comment. I'm gonna have to fix it in the back end, because I can't get to you right now, man. I'm going to fix it in the back end. Don't want to stop the show any further. So salute to you, brother. I love you, man. But we're going to get that jerk who caused the confusion. So as I first started with my recap, yeah, you like that word? You like that word, man? Who is that? Mark? Mark, what up with you, Mark? Shout out to you, man. Hey, shout out to you, Mark, man. You like that word, man? Let's go, man. What's up, man? Who going to the Super Bowl, man? So, hey, as I started off with Renee Good with the recap with Becca Good, I said I had brand new video footage as I explained to my brother Gold P. Shout out to the Roger Report Live. And I explained to my brothers what she was doing there, that she was being trained to be there. Well, I got brand new video footage. We talked yesterday about the other video footage that we showed of the video footage we show of the brother who was actually his house. The crash happened right in front of his house, right? The crash happened right in front of his house. So, well, in the effort to prepare for today's show, I'm looking for Becca Good's video. So as I looked around, people kept saying, so we had the video of the ICE agent who did the shooting. Remember, he got out the car. He was filming with his phone. We have his video. He's been very upfront. They doxed him, all type of weird shit that the liberals is doing to him. But they doxed him and his wife. People pray for that family. He didn't really want to hurt nobody. He was trying to protect himself and his fellow officer. But we don't have Becca Good, the wife who said, drive, baby, drive. We don't have her video. So today I'm looking for a video. Anybody in the chat, you guys, I want you to follow me on Instagram and follow me on X. So if you find the Becca Good video, remember, the wife was outside of the car filming. Remember, the wife was outside of the car filming on her phone. We have the phone, the cell phone video from the ICE agent. It proves that he was hit by the truck. You would think that she would want to exonerate her, right? Right? You would think they would want to exonerate her and put out that video. They haven't put it out yet. She hasn't put it out. We haven't heard anything from Becca Good as of now, right? So that's what we're waiting on, that video. But I have another video, firsthand account. of this is Becca Good's rap sheet revealed 250,000 GoFundMe filmed Renee shooting for clout. Deep dive into Renee Good's shooting story. Her wife, Becca Good, was filming the incident from outside the car for social media clout. Allegedly has long rap sheet with records in Colorado, Virginia, and Missouri. The SUV had Missouri plates. Someone needs to investigate their social media and bank accounts to uncover what they really do for a living. I guarantee there's much more to this story. Renee's husband, Timmy, father of her 3 kids, died in 2023. This is not all true, so we're not going to read this because I already know that's contradicted. Actually, it wasn't.
They just killed that lady right there in that car, y'all. Killed that lady in that car.
As we find out more about Renee Good, the woman who was shot in the face by ICE for blocking traffic and messing up with the whole operation, well, it turns out her wife was the one that put her up to it.
This lady got blood. They don't, she was in the car with her, bro.
Yeah, that's Renee's wife right there, sobbing. But it makes you wonder, like, why wasn't she in the car? Why was Renee in the car? Is this some kind of psychological operation, some kind of sacrifice? Meanwhile, we find out more from another eyewitness.
I woke up to some commotion. I heard some whistles going on out front, so I came downstairs to see what was going on. Wasn't even dressed. And there was a car, the Honda Pilot that's crashed over there now.
Brand new breaking news, everybody. Double tap at the like button. This is brand new footage. This hasn't been released yet from a brand new angle. This is a neighbor who saw what took place. Double tap at the like button. You're watching the Perfect Timing Podcast. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Let's go, everybody.
There's a car blocking the 2 lanes of Portland traffic.
There's a car blocking the 2 lanes of Portland traffic. This is a neighbor who saw what happened. She's giving her anecdotal firsthand account.
Wasn't even dressed. And there was a car, the Honda Pilot that's crashed over there now. There's a car blocking the 2 lanes of Portland traffic. And the ICE agents got out and they were saying, get out of here, get out of here. And she was what looked like trying to turn around. And the ICE agent was in front of her car and he pulled out a gun and put it right in, like his midriff was on her bumper, and he reached across the hood of the car and shot her in the face like 3-4 times. And then she must have just stepped on the gas. She stepped on the gas immediately, maybe got like 100 feet or so, and ran into the telephone pole and some cars, and then was slumped over in her car. And you could see she was probably gone. And there was a medic. There was a neighbor who's a physician who was yelling, "Can I please check the pulse?" There was no first responders. There were 0 first responders.
You know, folks.
So let's listen to a couple key things she said. She said she was blocking because there's a lot of confusion. Even Anderson Cooper said she was perpendicular, but she was allowing cars to come through as if she was a police officer empowered to do so. So this is a first-hand account. Someone said she was blocking the traffic.
I woke up to some commotion. I heard some whistles going on out front, so I came downstairs to see what was going on.
I heard some whistles out front. So we got to break this down. This ain't like any other podcast. Double tap at the like button. I heard some whistles out. What are those whistles? So people on my podcast who have been educated to what those whistles are actually understand the whistles are part of the ICE watch tactics, right? They are handed out. Someone paid, and again, we already dug deeper. That's why Trump said Soros needs to be indicted or investigated. Remember, Trump said that that's not conjecture anymore. Someone bought and paid for these whistles in multiple cities, right? Where all these whistles came from, there are hundreds of thousands of whistles, right? So the whistles, she starts off by saying, I was awoken. All these whistles outside. It's not by coincidence. We're not just whistling Dixie. These are being handed out by the ICE watch, and they're blowing on them consistently to as a sonic weapon. They're being used as a sonic weapon and an alert system. right? So let's break it down step by step of what she actually heard, and I'm going to teach you to what's actually happening, that these are ICE watch tactics from the beginning.
Operation, some kind of sacrifice. Meanwhile, we find out more from another eyewitness.
I woke up to some commotion. I heard some whistles going on out front, so I came downstairs to see what was.
I heard some whistles going on out front. That's what woke her up, not the car crash, the whistles, right? That are being passed out by ICE watch, and people are trained when you see ICE, blow the whistles. When ICE is trying to do their job, blow the whistles to distract them sonically and become a weapon.
What was going on? Wasn't even dressed. And there was a car, the Honda Pilot that's crashed over there now. There was a car blocking the 2 lanes of Portland traffic.
There was a car blocking the 2 lanes of Portland traffic. What have we established so far? What have we established so far? That ICE watch is on the scene. Enough ICE watch is on the scene that the whistles woke up a sleeping neighbor, right? It's so many whistles. You hear it in the background. We've been watching these videos. We've seen, I just played a video where you had 100 people out there jumping in front of cars in Tennessee. So you hear and see all of the whistles. So many whistles, it wakes her up in the morning. Imagine being on the street trying to do your job. It's so many whistles blaring loud, it wakes her up that she comes out to find out what's going on. Imagine trying to do your job with these blaring whistles in your ear. Now, and they're also trying to alert people you're trying to arrest, what could put your life in danger. I've said this from the beginning. Blowing the whistle is a crime. You are alerting criminals, and you could put an ICE agent's life in danger if the criminal was trying to flee, right? So number one, the whistles. Number two, she's blocking 2 lanes of traffic. Let's play that part again. She's blocking 2 lanes of traffic. She said, I hear whistles. I come downstairs. I see the SUV blocking 2 lanes of traffic. We can see it in the video, but even though we see it with our own eyes in the video, some people keep saying, oh, she's not blocking the traffic. Let's hear it from somebody else.
Some commotion. I heard some whistles going on out front, so I came downstairs to see what was going on. Wasn't even dressed. And there was a car, the Honda Pilot that's crashed over there now. There was a car blocking the 2 lanes of Portland traffic.
There was a car blocking the 2 lanes of traffic. There was a car blocking the 2 lanes of traffic.
And the ICE agents got out and they were saying, get out of here, get out of here. And she was what looked like trying to turn around. And the ICE agent was in front of her car, and he pulled out a gun and put it right in, like his midriff was on her bumper, and he reached across the hood of the car and shot her in the face. It's like 3-4 times. And then she must have just stepped on the gas. She stepped on the gas immediately.
She must have just stepped on the gas. It's so much to extrapolate with somebody just talking, and she could hear her huffing and puffing, and she's dealing with the trauma and excitement all at once. And but what are we extrapolating this morning? There's so many key details, right? The whistles, the blocking the traffic, and what was that last? Let me listen to that again. What was that last part? Let's listen to that again. Let's listen to that again. What was that last part?
It's like 3-4 times. And then she must have just stepped on the gas.
You see how she stepped on the, you hear how she slammed her foot down when she's trying to visually recreate what she saw. She steps down on the porch and you can hear the echo. She slams down on the gas. I feel exonerated myself because I've said from the beginning that she slapped the car and drive. Those are the terms I use. That's the terminology. If you hear anybody else saying that type of verbiage, they heard it here first. I said she slapped the car and drive. I said she looked eye to eye with the ICE agent. Her wife said, drive, baby, drive. The ICE agent yells no because the ICE agent makes eye to eye contact. Has anybody ever been in a situation like with a child or anything like that, and you make eye to eye contact and you say, no, don't drop that, don't throw that, and the child throws it anyway, the child drops it anyway. They make eye contact with you, you make eye contact with them, and you know that they're about to take the action, and you say no, you know you shouldn't do it. And This is the part that everybody's leaving out. This is why the ICE agent is going to be exonerated. It's none of the other details. Everybody, it comes down to this one detail that can only be seen from the vantage point of the ICE agent. And I'm so glad he's recording. I'm so glad he's recording, because what you see from his cell phone is this look of glee, this big smile on the face of the driver. She smiles. She looks eye to eye with the ICE agent. She slaps the car and drive, turns the wheel, and like she just says, slams on the gas. At that point, the ICE agent is forced to pull the trigger because he has to protect his life and the life of everyone there. The wife, the other agents, because we don't know, it's ice on the ground, it's slippery, and she is slamming on the gas as she's already perpendicular parking traffic. This car is a weapon. It can spin around. Anything could happen. But people are just saying that the ICE agent is wrong. Nobody is looking at the right thing. You got to look at the video that the ICE agent filmed. This is when my chat said, perfect. She said, drive, baby, drive. I said, no, she didn't. Now, chat, chat, do you see all over the New York Post, everywhere is saying that the wife, Becca Good, said, drive, baby, drive? Where did they hear that first? They heard that first on this channel, because as we reviewed the footage, my chat room said, did you hear that? I said, what? She said, drive, baby, drive. I thought she said no. That was the ICE agent saying no. We had to do it in slow motion. When we looked at the video in slow motion, this was the first YouTube channel that exposed the fact that Becca Good said, drive, baby, drive. And I can't even take credit. I got to give the credit to my chat room, because I heard something else with my old gray hair ears. I heard no, so I had to put it in slow motion. I heard no. My chat room said no, slow it down. And now everybody's reporting Becca Good. I also had a video where it's saying Becca Good possibly can get charged for murder, depending on what and who wants to press charges. So if Kristi Noem and the federal government can't press charges of aiding and abetting and then attributing. Remember I said in certain instances when you like rob a liquor store and the police have to kill the person you robbed the store with, you can be charged with the murder. So I said, it's possible that Becca Good could be charged with Renee Good's murder. I saw a research study that said she could be charged with the murder, but only by the state. The state is the only ones, if they were to pick up the case, they could prosecute Becca Good for saying, drive, baby, drive, and attribute Renee Good's murder to Becca Good for egging her on and saying, drive, baby, drive. That's aiding and abetting felony murder. And she could actually be charged even though the ICE officer shot Renee Good. That's an actual fact. But what it comes down to is the fact that when she slammed on the gas, like being reported here by eyewitness, when she slammed on the gas, what's so important is that we saw a video that she made eye contact with the ICE agent. The ICE agent looked at her directly. She was not going in a forward motion. For everybody saying you can't jump in front of a moving vehicle and blah, blah, blah this and blah, blah, blah that, she had gone in reverse. Anderson Cooper acknowledged it. We saw the white brake lights. The first two ICE agents grabs her door. She goes in reverse. She looks dead at the ICE agent. Becca Good says, drive, baby, drive. She spins the wheel. And wait a minute, what did she do?
It's like 3-4 times. And then she must have just stepped on the gas.
She must have just stepped on the gas. That's what happened. She must have just stepped on the gas, stomped on the porch to recreate what she saw. She must have just
stepped on the gas immediately, maybe got like 100 feet or so, and ran into the telephone pole and some cars, and then was slumped over in her car. And you could see she was probably gone. And there was a medic, there was a neighbor who's a physician who was yelling, "Can I please check the pulse?" There was no first responders. There were 0 first responders.
You know, folks, things are just not adding up.
I just smoked this lady right here, bro. Hit her in her shit.
This is Becca Good on side of the street after the incident took place. This is Becca Good. As you guys, because some of you are new to the channel, double tap at the like button. She ain't comply. Say that again, brother. She ain't comply. Why didn't she comply? This is her wife, Becca Good, on the side of the road after the incident. This is the woman who said, drive, baby, drive. I know a lot of you may not know who I'm referring to when I say Becca Good, because you may be new to the channel. First, I want to say thank you for being new to the channel. Thank you for watching. Double tap at the like button. What we're doing is we're reviewing some information that a lot of people may not know and be aware of. What we've discovered, you guys, the vice president of the United States said it's a shame that this mother of 3 children was radicalized. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to verify what J.D. Vance was saying. So we did some research. What we found out is that this young lady right here, Becca Good, is the one who convinced Renee to join a Minnesota ICE Watch group where they were trained how to follow, blockade, and specifically the leaflet said, and they were in a Zoom call days before this incident where they received training on what they would do on this day. I don't know if you're new to my channel, but I want to say thank you for being here. But what we're doing is we're going over the background. A lot of people have been saying what and why she was doing there. So what we did on this channel is we did the research. We found Minnesota ICE Watch. We found pamphlets. We found leaflets. We found Instagram. We even found an invitation to a Zoom call that happened days before the event where they received training. We learned that she received the pamphlets and the invitation at a 6-year-old school, a school that is specifically training children to be woke and political activists. We read this yesterday. I don't know how much of this you know. We're not focusing on the incident anymore. On the first 2 days, we showed the video. If you notice, I'm not going back over the video again because I've showed it so many times. Right now, we're going into a deeper dive of what happened and why she was there. And like Vice President J.D. Vance said, how and why was she radicalized? A lot of people doesn't know where did she learn and how did she become part of the group who we know now were following around ICE that day. Another thing that should be listened to in this video is that Renee was the first person in the protest caravan. Renee was leading the protest. Remember, Anderson Cooper had the video of 4 minutes before the incident, and Anderson Cooper said Renee's car was the first car on the scene. That's because Renee's car was the leader of the protest. How many people knew that? Let's play the video. Let's go back to the video. I just want to give everybody and say thank you to everybody who's here and let everybody know what we're doing. So thank you to everybody who's here. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're enjoying the entertainment. So thank you so much. This is the perfect time in podcast.
Her wife was in her car. Her wife up over there with blood all up over her face and shit, bro. Like, they guys just really came out here tweaking, bro. I was in the crib chilling. Just heard some shots.
You know, I'm not into geometry and all the numbers, but I'll tell you what's, you know what I'm thinking?
Can you describe a little bit about what this woman looked like? Was there anyone else in the car with her? Did you know if she was the target?
I don't know if she was a target. They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest.
Did you guys hear that? No one else is reporting this, so you guys is thinking. Remember, we have independent media. We have Rachel Maddow, Anderson Cooper, everybody playing dumb. Everybody playing dumb saying she was trying to get away. I even played for you a sheriff in Philadelphia. I played for you a female sheriff who said she was trying to get away as if it's illegal. And now today we learn, oh, it's illegal in Minnesota to flee from a traffic stop. Did anybody hear that? Did anybody hear? I know a lot of people are super sleuths in the chat. Did anybody hear that? That's being reported on every media outlet, that it is illegal to flee from a traffic stop in Minnesota, in Minneapolis specifically. So come to find out, throw away everything you heard from Anderson Cooper, throw away everything you heard from Rachel Maddow that assumes that she was just some mom caught in the mix and she was scared. Remember, everybody said she was scared. She was scared. She was not just some casual bystander who was scared. She was part of Minnesota ICE Watch. We learned about Minnesota ICE Watch at a 6-year-old school in Minneapolis. I keep reiterating that because I want you to focus on the fact that Minneapolis is also where the $9 billion, $18 billion, $100 billion Somali fraud took place that began with a $250 million scandal from the Feeding Our Future food operation. The food operation that was given a pathway by Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who created a special opportunity for this community to open up food banks during the pandemic. So when she says that we need to blame Washington, she means she needs to blame herself. Does everybody remember why we're in Minneapolis, Minnesota? Does everybody remember why we're actually there? We're not there for white women. Even though Minnesota Ice Watch says put white bodies, remember, I'm the first person who showed you the pamphlet and the leaflets. I'm telling you now, she was radicalized at a school for a 6-year-old. She was invited to a Zoom call where she received training days before the event. One of the trainings at that Zoom call said, put white bodies in front of ICE agents. Put white bodies in front of ICE agents. Why would they train a mother of 3 to put her white body? So when we see cars of white women and white women being arrested and there's always a white woman in front, this is not by accident. None of them are scared. None of them are accidentally, organically there. They have been trained to put white bodies. Can anybody tell me in the chat, why would they put white bodies in front of, we ain't gonna go that deep tonight. I just want to give you the background of what you're watching and why we're watching it. And what did she just say? She said that Renee was the leader of the protest. Now, I gave you background. Renee is part of Ice Watch. Renee just got training in a Zoom call days before the event. The training said put white bodies in front of ICE agents and block them in. This can't be refuted. This can't be refuted. This school still exists. Nick Shirley, where you at? Nick Shirley, well, I gotta do all the heavy lifting, Nick Shirley. I gotta do all the heavy lifting, Nick Shirley. Everybody, hey, tag Nick Shirley right now. Go to the Minneapolis school that radicalized Renee Good. Get the flyers, get the information, show it right now, because when the black guy with the tight eye tells everybody what happened, everybody wants to talk shit. Nick Shirley, so we need a little pretty white boy to go do a video. Everybody tag Nick Shirley right now. Go to the school where 6-year-olds go in America. It's unbelievable, right? You might think I'm talking about a third world country. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about America. Minneapolis, a school where 6-year-olds go, where it says in the charter that we train children to be woke and anti-protest. Nick Shirley, go to that school and dig a deeper dive into the radicalization of Renee Good, because why are we in Minneapolis? Why are we in Minneapolis? 9 billion, 9 billion, 9 billion, 9 billion. What did Feed Our Future do? Well, Feed Our Future lied. So Ilhan Omar asked for a favor. 80% of Somalians was already on welfare. 80% of Somalians was already on welfare. Why did they need these expenditures? Why did they need these new expansions? Why did they need these new expansions during COVID if 80% of Somalians was already on welfare? Why, Ilhan Omar? Why? Anyway, she expanded them. She expanded their welfare, even though 80% of them were on welfare. That's why we in Minneapolis, because there are daycare centers that are empty. Now, a lot of you are new, and I want to say thank you to everybody new that's been watching me. I want to say thank you to everybody new that's been watching me. You know what I said? For some of you new people, go back and watch when I talked about Nick Shirley did not tell you why those daycare centers were empty. But see, we do the real deep dive and reporting here. I need everybody right now in the chat put enrollment-based funding. Preferred seating. Why were those daycare centers empty and remain empty till January 5th when Donald Trump closed the loophole? So these daycare centers were paid based on how many students they enrolled. They were not paid based on attendance. As a matter of fact, during the Biden administration, it was required that they didn't take attendance. Do you know the Feed Our Future, the way they got away with stealing millions of dollars is during COVID, they stopped feeding people at their facilities. And they lied about how many people they were feeding because they had six feet of separation. So they couldn't legally have people because of the quarantine rules, right? So they said they were delivering all these meals, but they were lying. The daycare centers are empty because Biden created a policy called enrollment-based funding. They got paid based on how many students they enrolled. They never got verified on whether or not these students ever attended, and it wasn't required. Now, what was further complicated and further the fraud is that once you sign up for the program, listen, once you sign up for the brand new Biden program of enrollment-based funding, Biden then said, I would like you to sign up for this software. This software is going to pay. Now, remember, the Leering Center got $1.9 million, almost $2 million in 1 year. And no one asked how. I'm going to explain to you how right now. They were paid based on enrollment. They were not required to take attendance on a daily basis, and the state never verified who actually attended the school. Donald Trump on January 5th closed the loophole. You don't get paid. Now, listen, I'm getting ahead of myself. Biden said, we're going to put you on an automatic schedule. If you sign up for this software, we're going to pay you automatically and in advance for the students you enrolled, and I'm not going to require you to do attendance. This, I am slowing down so you can hear exactly what I'm saying, because it's actually unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable. Joe Biden said, I am going to pay you for the students you have enrolled. Then I'm going to require you to sign up for this software system that will allow me to pay you automatically based on enrollment and pay you in advance. Can anybody tell me, how the hell do you pay a daycare in advance? Daycares, kids get sick. Kids get sick at a daycare. Kids go on vacation. How can you pay a daycare in advance? How can you pay them on an automatic basis? Well, Joe Biden in Minnesota had all this money they needed to give away, and they wanted to make sure, well, that's allegedly. This is me speculating. I'm not going to go into my speculation. You guys speculate in the chat. Why would Joe Biden, let's scratch our head. Why would Joe Biden and Tim Walz and Kamala Harris want to create a community full of billionaires that they would donate? I don't know. Do you? Why? So they created this loophole, this boondoggle. Now, a lot of this people don't know because Nick Shirley didn't put it in his documentary. Nick Shirley just went to the daycare center and it was empty. No one ever said, well, why was it empty? You notice the daycare center hasn't gotten in trouble and hasn't gotten shut down. The daycare center didn't break the law. They were doing per the Biden policy. They've had to change since January 5th. But the reason the daycare center, this is the sick part about this theft. Do you know they don't got to give back the money? Do you know they don't got to give back the money? So wait a minute, you basically stole money from America and they don't even have to give it back because under Biden, the law said that I only are paying them on the students they have enrolled. And there's no way for us to go back and verify who actually went because the Biden rule never required them to take attendance. That's why we're there. So let me just play this again where she is telling us that Renee was the leader of the protest. I think this is the first time. That you've heard Renee is the leader of the protest. But how would you hear that if all the media is saying she was just turning? She was scared. She accidentally, magically, like a lucky charm, appeared there. She didn't know ICE was there. No. She was trained, highly trained by Minnesota ICE Watch, and she was leading the protest. Let's play it right now. And she was leading the protest. How many people knew that?
A little bit about what this woman looked like. Was there anyone else in the car with her? Did you know if she was the target?
I don't know if she was a target. They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do.
Did y'all hear that? This is one thing. Y'all could say whatever y'all want to say about my content, but I back my shit up. I back. Double tap hit the like button. #1 podcast on YouTube. WChat, #1 chat room on YouTube. #1 information on YouTube. #1 podcast, #1 chat room. Let's hear it again. One more time.
Can you describe a little bit about what this woman looked like? Was there anyone else in the car with her? Did you know if she was the target?
I don't know if she was a target. They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there.
You understand? Ain't nobody else presenting this. Ain't nobody else presenting. I think are they scared? Are they scared? Are they scared? No one else is presenting this, huh? Huh? No one else is presenting this. She was trained to do this. I showed the pamphlet. She was trained to do this. I showed, and then we showed Tennessee. We showed Tennessee. They not just doing this in Minnesota. They not just doing this in Minnesota. This is ICE Watch in Tennessee. This is ICE Watch in Tennessee putting out propaganda. This is ICE Watch in Tennessee putting out propaganda saying that somebody hit them. This is ICE Watch in Tennessee putting out propaganda saying that somebody hit them, but then Perfect Timing Podcast had to do the research and then show everybody the actual footage. So here it is. This is ICE Watch in Tennessee, and then they recreated this Photoshop to say ICE hit a protester. So let's go to the actual dash cam, because this is what we got to do. This is the same thing that exonerated the ICE. This is what's going to exonerate the ICE agent in Minnesota. Dash cam footage of what really happened.
Move! Get out of my way! Get out of my way! Move! 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 Get out! Come here!
Do you see what we dealing with out here in these streets? Y'all see what we dealing with out here in these streets? I know, wow. I know, wow. I know, wow. It's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable, right? And this is what the agents got to deal with. No one knows that they're not, these people are trained. They're following training. These are tactics. Somebody said it in the chat earlier. I can't say it, but they got trained in Zoom calls, leaflets. Y'all understand this? This is not by accident. This is their training.
Move! Get out of my way! Get out of my way! Move! 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 Get out! Come here!
The whole time filming. The whole time filming. The whole time filming. Paid protesters. Paid protesters the whole time filming. Paid protesters, yes, sir. And then you see what they did with the footage. Then you see what they did with the footage. They recreate the footage, right? They recreate the footage to make the ICE agent look bad. So I was just breaking down. Where I want to go. Minneapolis Mayor Fry admits welfare fraud real amid federal probes. Remember, I just talked to you about the fraud. Why are we in Minneapolis? Huh? Why are we in Minneapolis? So let's go into some detail why we there. This is Mayor Jacob Fry. And you know, he was speaking Somalis. He was speaking Somalis. When this happened, he didn't even speak to Americans in English. The Democrats have been so apologetic to the Somali community versus Americans. If people wonder why is it happening like this, maybe because Jacob Fry and Tim Walz were the wrong leaders and they didn't handle the situation properly. Tim Walz diverted to white supremacy. Do y'all remember Tim Walz when asked about $1 billion Somali fraud? He said, well, we need to arrest white men. And if there's Somali people doing fraud, there's probably more white men doing fraud because there's more white men. And I'm just looking and listening to Tim Walz, and I'm like, what the hell is Tim Walz talking about? Why are you deflecting and come to find out he knew about the fraud and didn't do anything about it? And then when asked about it, you want to say, as a white man, you want to say it's white supremacy. supremacy. That was weird, you guys. And then Jacob Fry, when asked about the Somali fraud, he goes into speaking Somalis. I can't make this up. This is why Tim Walz stepped down. So let's read this right. Minneapolis Mayor Fry admits welfare fraud, real amid federal probes. During an NBC Meet the Press interview on January 12th, Fry defended Governor Tim Walz while acknowledging failures to prevent schemes that allegedly defrauded taxpayers. This is the problem, I think, sometimes, because it's not allegedly. We already got how many? 100 people indicted, and the indictments are still rolling. Before Nick Shirley even did his video, we had 56 people indicted, 75 people arrested. I said when Nick Shirley did his video, because the arrests started coming in June of 2025, when we first learned about Feeding Our Future and the $250 million theft. And then it kept adding up to billions. But by the time Nick Shirley started looking at the daycare centers, we were already at billion-dollar fraud from the food theft from the pathway that Ilmar. So do people understand that it is compounded fraud, that the fraud from Feeding Our Future is different from the daycare fraud, from enrollment-based funding, but it's all welfare fraud? That we were already at 56 arrested, 75 indicted before Nick Shirley. Now we're at over 100. We're at over 100. And they're trying to say, we think, what are you thanking Tim Walz for? What are you thinking Tim Walz for? Allegedly defrauding taxpayers. There is no allegedly defrauding taxpayers when we got 100 people convicted, when we got over billions of dollars recovered. Come on, man. Let's just keep it a buck. Millions through Somali-linked daycares and transport firms. These issues trace back to 2022, Feeding Our Future. Ding, 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 ding. Did I not just tell you Feeding Our Future? Did I not just, and then somebody, was that you? Was that you that said 20? Hold on, where my sister at? Well, I said, KMA, was that you that said 2015? KMA, was that you that said 2015? Was that you? Was that you who said 2015? Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Over 250 million, 20 Feeding Our Future case where 70 people face charge. Didn't I just say this? Didn't I just say before Nick Shirley even did his video, we were already at hundreds of people? Didn't I just say before Nick Shirley, this is why I say, don't say Nick Shirley took down Tim Walz. Because if you say Nick Shirley took down Tim Walz, people won't do the homework. People won't do the homework and find out what really happened, right? 70 people face charges for stealing over $250 million from children nutrition program, with recent investigations uncovering empty daycares. See, recent, two different investigations, two different streams of wealth and fraud. Empty daycares and sham medical transport companies. So we have fraud on multiple levels. We have fake meals. We have empty daycares and transport companies. And you know what they leaving out? The autism. They got paid for autistic therapy and lied about it. Some of it is not even believable what was done. Mr. Boski in the building. Mr. Boski, what's up with your boy? Okay, let's keep it going, man. $250 million from child nutrition program, with recent investigations uncovering empty daycares and sham medical transport companies. The Trump administration launched an IRS task force and probes into possible political ties. Did you guys know this? Yesterday we reported $700 million going through the Minneapolis airport. $700 million from Somali nationals. What's up with you, Mr. Going through the Minnesota airport? And then now Homeland Security is saying, why didn't anybody stop all this money? You know what I said? If 80% of Somalians was on welfare and getting meals from Feeding Our Future, how did they have $700 million to go through the airport? It's almost like the Democrats in Minnesota was purposely looking the other way. She's right now investigating, saying it doesn't make sense that nobody caught this. They have to declare the money. So what I said is, I agree. It doesn't make sense nobody caught it. But if the other part is, why nobody was asking, where are the Somalians getting money if 80% of the community is on welfare? Didn't nobody think that was weird? When you saw hundreds of millions of dollars leaving in cash, green dollar bills, nobody thought that was weird? Like, where are these welfare recipients getting the money? So let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Breaking Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stuns America by confirming these are tapes of Minnesota AG Ellison taking money to stop investigate. Wow. Do y'all hear that? Keith Ellison is on tape taking mic drop. Mic drop. Number one, man, podcast in the land. You're not going to get anything like this nowhere else. Again, we're going to tee up the video. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stuns America by confirming, this is breaking news 20 hours ago, there are tapes of Minnesota AG Ellison taking money to stop investigations into Somalis. I don't want to get ahead of the investigation, but when the bear trap snaps, we will get these folks. Wow. Double tap, hit the like button. Whoa, that MAGA. Whoa, that MAGA. Let's go, everybody. Number one breaking video. Somali fraud. Keith Ellison implicated. Breaking news. Allegedly.
Following the money, there are evidently some disturbing tapes of AG Ellison in meetings with people who donated to him, them calling for political favors to stop the investigations. So we'll see. But again, I don't want to get out ahead of the investigations. It's going to be very methodical. And Chris, I can guarantee you, when the bear trap snaps, we're going to get these folks. And again, we're going to follow the money, whether it's over the two counties here, in Minneapolis, St. Paul's, or whether it's to East Africa. And there's tons of luxury properties, cars that have been bought over there. And part of following the money, there are evidently some disturbing tapes of.
Do y'all understand what he said? Do y'all let's go, baby. Let's go, Trump. He said we even going all the way to East Africa. We even going all the way to East Africa, baby. Minneapolis Mayor Fry admits welfare fraud real amid federal probes. Let's go to it right now. So the mayor of Minneapolis just admitted to fraud live on national TV. Perfect Time podcast, breaking news. It's taking someone to lose their life. I think they're probably willing to admit to the fraud because they don't want to speak to the radicalization of the Minneapolis citizens, and that the fact that you're the leader of Minneapolis, you're the leader of Minnesota, and this radicalization of the left has occurred under your watch, and you didn't tell the federal government. Hey, in our schools, they are having these pamphlets that are saying this. Why are we just now finding out, Jacob Fry, Tim Waltz? Why are we just now finding out about the training and the leaflets and the pamphlets and the opposition? Yeah, they've done a piss poor job at leadership, and I'm so glad we live in America where we have elected officials. Can I say that again? Where we have elected officials, and but looking at the people in Minnesota, I too excited about them, man. I mean, how long he been mayor? He been mayor 1,000 years, just like Tim Walz been governor. Let's listen to the video.
Of dollars of taxpayer money for government programs. Do you think Governor Walz did enough to stop the fraud in your state? And do you support his decision not to run for re-election?
Well, look, Governor Walz is the reason that we've got paid family leave in Minnesota. He's the reason we've got free school lunches. Him and I, we've been through thick and thin.
But did he do enough to combat fraud,
over these
Mayor? Did he do enough to combat fraud?
Look, obviously, everybody could have done more to prevent fraud. And I think that's a fair point to make. Do more to prevent fraud. And you look what he's doing right now. He's setting up a whole bunch of infrastructure to do that. And by the way, look, the fraud's real. We've all got to acknowledge it. The fraud is very real. And by the way, when somebody commits fraud, and there are many that have done that, you investigate it, you charge, you prosecute, and you put the person in jail. As an individual, you put the person in jail as an individual. You do not hold an entire community, any community, accountable for the actions of individuals.
Let's break this down. Let's break this.
Of dollars of taxpayer money for government programs. Do you think Governor Walz did enough to stop the fraud in your state? And do you support his decision not to run for re-election?
So 2 questions. Let's stop with those 2 questions right there. Let's break this down. Number 1, let's ask one in the chat. Do you think Tim Walz did enough to stop the fraud? And do you support Tim Walz stepping down? Everybody in the chat. Number 1 in the chat. Do you think Tim Walz did enough? Put a 2 in the chat if you think Tim Walz failed America and the people of Minneapolis. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Tim Walz did a good job. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he did a bad job. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Tim Walz did a good job. Put a 2 in the chat if you think Tim Walz did a bad job.
Of taxpayer money for government programs. Do you think Governor Walz did enough to stop the fraud in your state? And do you support his decision not to run for re-election?
Well, look, Governor Walz is the reason that we've got paid family leave in Minnesota.
Well, deflection. He didn't answer the question. He's deflecting. 2s. Look at them 2s light up the chat. He's deflecting. Paid family leave, free lunches, right? Paid family. But did he do a good enough job stopping the fraud, especially when we learn the fraud going back to 2022? The fraud stems back from 2022, right? And it stems now when we learn about the fraud going back to 2022. What else did I teach you? Does anybody else remember what I taught you? I said, how did Tim Walz get on the ballot? How did Tim Walz get on the ballot? Tim Walz got on the ballot because Obama and Kamala tweeted him out. Kamala Harris tweeted out Tim Walz in 2023, celebrating his social welfare programs. In 2024, before Kamala chose him, she then used Obama's same tweet and then congratulated Tim Walz on his social welfare program that he had set up in Minnesota. Everybody, I wonder, didn't you wonder, why did Kamala pick Tim Walz? I wondered how and why. I never heard of Tim Walz. Come to find out, when we learn about the fraud, the reason why Tim Walz was chosen by Team Kamala is because Obama championed him, and Obama championed his welfare state. Did you guys know that? Obama tweeted out that Tim Walz was doing a good job. Let's play the video.
The reason we've got free school lunches. Him and I, we've been through thick and thin.
But did he do enough to combat fraud?
But did he do enough to combat fraud? See how I deflected free lunches and this and that. But did he do enough to combat fraud? What you guys need to know, if Tim Walz and Kamala Harris would have won the election, you would have had Minneapolis across the nation. You would have had nationwide fraud. Nationwide fraud because Tim Walz would have took his welfare state nationwide.
Did he do enough to combat fraud?
You notice this is what they start with: free lunches. Donald Trump closed the Department of Education because Head Start didn't work. We've been giving out free breakfast for 20 years, but kids are illiterate. So you talking about free lunches? Did the illiterate rate go up in Minneapolis? That's all I want to know. As you give away free lunches, is the children in Minneapolis having higher reading scores? Let me put
fraud over these Mayor, did he do enough to combat fraud?
Look, obviously everybody could have done more to prevent fraud. And I think that's a fair point to make. Do more to prevent fraud. And you look what he's doing right now. He's setting up a whole bunch of infrastructure to do that. And by the way, look, the fraud's real. We've all got to acknowledge it. The fraud is very real. And by the way,
is that a good? Do you accept that in 2026, it took till 2026 when we know that the fraud stems back, going back to 2022? Do you accept the fact that only now in 2026, after the passing of Renee Good, that he now admits the fraud is real? We're at $18 billion. We're not talking about one level of fraud. We're talking about the Feeding Our Future fraud, right? We're talking about medical transportation fraud, right? We're talking about daycare fraud, right? We're talking about autistic children fraud. We're not talking about one level of fraud, and it takes them to 2026 to admit the fraud. That's sad, bro.
When somebody commits fraud, and there are many that have done that, you investigate it. You charge, you prosecute, and you put the person in jail. As an individual, you put the person in jail as an individual. You do not hold an entire community, any community, accountable for the actions of individuals.
Hey, I'm asking right now. Where is Minneapolis and Minnesota in reading? I should have said in math nationally. Minneapolis and Minnesota. Your question. They're not giving me. They're not giving it to me. If you're out, no. They playing. I want to know, where do they rank in math and reading scores? Because they're giving away all this money and they're giving away all these pamphlets. Where do they rank? And they fighting us. They don't want Minneapolis and none of that. They don't want the shit getting out, man. The latest NAEP data is from 2024, administered early 2024, results released in 2025 for grades 4 to 8 in math and reading key points. Minnesota scores held steady from 2022. No statistical significant changes, while national averages declined slightly in several categories. 4th grade math, it's the top 7 states, strong performance. 8th grade math, top 3 states. 4th grade reading around top 28, solid but lower relative to math. 8th grade reading around top 14. So it's giving me mostly the positive stuff. Minneapolis. So this is where they fair to Midland. They fair to Midland. They fair to Midland as far as their scores. So the reason I looked this up, because I would say, why not spend the money on getting these scores up, right? You got reading, it says around top 28, solid but low. You know what I'm saying? They're in the top 28 for reading, and that's what the reality is. So why not invest in reading and making America great again, instead of investing in the Somali community that after 10 years of being here, they still on 80% on welfare. That's all I just want to show with that right there. Let's keep going. Somebody in the chat said, I got my education from Quality Lyric Center. I got the best chat. W chat. We stand in Minnesota. We stand in Minnesota, man. We stand with ICE, man. We stand in Minnesota. We stand with ICE. Let's go to Trump. We stand in Minnesota. We stand with Trump. We stand with ICE. Let's go to Minnesota. We got Trump talking about Minnesota. We stand in Minnesota. We stand with Trump. We stand with ICE. Double tap, hit the like button, everybody. We stand in Minnesota. We stand with Trump. Let's go. Double tap, hit the like button. Trump warns Minnesota of reckoning amid raids and protests. President Trump on Truth Social that President Trump warned on Truth Social that a day of reckoning and retribution is coming for Minnesota as ICE ramps up deportations, targeting criminals, drug dealers, and those tied to $19 billion in alleged state fraud. Like fake daycares, the operations arrested over 500 people in early January 2026, many in the Somali neighborhoods, following a Chicago effort that DHS has linked to a falling crime rate. Shout out to Trump for falling crime rate in Chicago. Protests erupted after Agent Jonathan Ross shot Renee Nicole Good, whom officials say tried to run him over. Her family and Democrats call it unjust. Put it in the chat. Do y'all think the shooting was justified? Put a 1 in the chat. Do you think the shooting was justified? Put a 1 in the chat. Mr. Bolsky, let me read that for my brother, man. Mr. Bolsky said, what states are the most expensive and have the highest taxes? Blue. Also have the most drug addiction, crime, and homelessness. Let's highlight that for my brother, man. Let's highlight that. And let me send a shout out to my brother, man, Mike. I apologize, man, for blocking you, man. I don't know what happened, man. I had my finger on the trigger, man. I got my finger on the trigger and I'm ready to pull it. I got my finger on the trigger and I'm ready to pull it. Man, I'm sorry about that, Mike, man. I didn't mean to get you out of here. I'm going to get you back, man. You might have to create another one, man. I'm going to get you back, man. Double tap at the like button, man. We talking about Trump, man. Trump been warning people, man. They ready for a record, man. Philadelphia is bad. Philadelphia is bad. You don't like the way I read, Charlie? Let's read it again. Let's read it again for him. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. And you know my name is Simon. And you know my name is Simon. President Trump posted on Truth Social that a day of reckoning and retribution is coming from Minnesota, and ICE ramps up deportations, targeting criminals, drug dealers, and those tied to a $19 billion in an alleged state fraud scheme. You notice it goes up every day. I said 1 billion, then we said 8 billion, and today the reports are saying 19 billion. When we read this tomorrow, it might say more. When we read this tomorrow, and they've been stealing so much for so long. Somebody's been stealing, been so long. Somebody's been stealing, been so long. They stealing my money, been so long. Somebody's been stealing, allegedly, because that's what they said, right? Allegedly 19 billion. In alleged state fraud schemes like fake daycares, the operations have arrested over 500 people. That's not allegedly, them 500 people arrested, and they going back home. We ain't even got the TPS yet. Y'all hang out, we ain't even got the TPS yet. We haven't got the TPS yet. TPS, put it in the chat. TP, y'all see my thumbnail? TPS, remove, I said TPS, remove, they gotta go by March. Everybody, they gotta go by March. Everybody, they gotta go by March. They gotta go by March. Everybody, they gotta go by March. Ice, baby. Too cold. It's like ice, baby. Just go back home. Man, he removed the warning. But I'm gonna get to this story, and then I'm gonna get to that story, explain to y'all what that's all about, man. Because we do a lot of favors for a lot of people. We had low tariffs. Do y'all know it's Terrific Tuesday where we talk about tariffs? Do y'all know it's Terrific Tuesday where we talk about tariffs? Do y'all know what Trump is doing with Iran? Remember I told you how you're supposed to use tariffs? Remember how I told you, I gave you a story how every other country uses tariffs? We're going to get to Iran and the 25% tariff that Trump just put on Iran, and how we're using tariffs now like no other time in American history. Like every other country uses tariffs to protect workers, national security, wages, and things like that. Y'all don't even understand. Everybody always, tariffs are attacks. No, they're not. They're a strategic weapon. There's something called a trade deficit. You know, when people were arguing, that's why Jerome Powell's being indicted. Did y'all know Fed Chair Jerome Powell's being indicted? Let me get back to this story. We got so much to talk about. It's so much news. Iran, 25% tariff on Iran. I don't get me to get the cussing and fussing. When I talk about tariffs, I get excited. When I talk about tariffs, I get excited because they get the trolling in the chat and they don't know what they're talking about. When did tariffs start? For anybody talking that shit in the chat, when did we start collecting tariffs? Let's qualify the conversation. How much have we collected in tariffs? And when did we start collecting tariffs? They don't know, chat. They don't know. August 1st. We started collecting August 1st. Did we give $12 billion to farmers? We gave $12 billion to farmers. Did we pay WIC for mothers out the tariffs? We paid WIC for mothers out the tariffs. Did we pay $17.76 to the armed forces because Jasmine Crockett shut down the government for 43 days? I said Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Hakeem Jeffries, and Chuck Schumer shut down the government for 43 days. They got paid. Jasmine Crockett had a beautiful long weave. Jasmine Crockett never missed a weave. Jasmine Crockett never missed makeup. Jasmine Crockett never missed those mink eyelashes. Jasmine Crockett, fine ass, had her weave done every day of the 43-day shutdown. Jasmine Crockett had her weave done every day of the 43-day shutdown. Mink eyelashes. But the TSA agents were not paid. paid. Air traffic ATC, air traffic controllers were not paid. Military in Germany had to wait in line for food for 43 days. And AOC and Hakeem Jeffries ridiculed Chuck Schumer because they wanted the shutdown to continue past 43 days. Hello, is this microphone on? Hey, that MAGA. Hey, that MAGA. Is this microphone on? Is this microphone on? It's Terrific Tuesday. I said we used tariffs on Iran, but we ain't even talking about that yet. Let's keep going with this Minneapolis 25% tariffs on Iran, just to educate those in the chat. I got biblical for a minute. The Baptist preacher came out in me. Whoa. The Baptist hit the super chat. I need to pass around the collection plate. Pass around the collection plate. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are here. You are welcome here to the congregation of Perfect Time Podcast. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in time, we like to take a station identification break, pass around the collection plate. I said at this point in time, we like to take a station identification break and pass around the collection plate. Thank you. Welcome for being here at the Perfect Time Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Double tap hit the like button, man. I ain't playing around, man. Number one podcast in the land. Let's go, man. Let's read the Truth Social from Donald Trump, man. I love Donald Trump Truth Social. I said the other day, who is writing these, bro? It is so I do my shit, man. I think I'm funny, man. I think I'm entertaining. I think I look good. I'm mahogany. I'm chocolate. What's his name? He vanilla, baby. You know what I'm saying? But I'm mahogany chocolate, man. I'm a root beer brown, man. I'm a tall, dark, and handsome, man. I'm a root beer float for your throat. You know what I'm saying? But, man, so I know I get my 1-2 in, man. I do my big one, man, on a daily basis here at the Perfect Time Podcast every day around 12 to 1 p.m. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the like button, and join the channel. But, man, Donald Trump with these Truth Socials, man, is hilarious, man. I'm like, he got to have some comedic help, man. You know what I'm saying? He got to have some comedic help, man, But, come on, Truth Social. Come on, Truth Social. You know what I'm saying? I want to read you. You know what I'm saying? Homeland Security. This is the official page. Fear not, great people of Minnesota. The day of reckoning and retribution is coming. Do the people of Minnesota really want to live in a community in which there are thousands of already convicted murderers, drug dealers, and addicts, the R-word, violent, released, and escaped prisoners, dangerous people from foreign mental institutions and insane asylums, and other deadly criminals too dangerous to even mention? All the patriots of ICE want to do is remove them from your neighborhood and send them back to the prisons and mental institutions where they came from. Most in foreign countries who illegally entered the U.S. through Sleepy Joe. Let's go, Brandon! Through Sleepy Joe Biden's horrible open borders policy. Every place we go, crime comes down. In Chicago, despite a weak and incompetent governor and mayor fighting us all the way, a big improvement was made. Thousands of criminals were removed. Minnesota Democrats love the unrest. I agree. The anarchists and professional agitators, I trained you guys about that, are causing because it gets the spotlight off the $19 billion. Let's go, MAGA. Didn't I just say that? It gets the spotlight off the $19 billion that was stolen by really bad and deranged people. Fear not, great people of Minnesota. And then that's all I got right now because my intranet is moving very, very, very slowly. Hey, there we go. Fear not, great people of Minnesota. The day of reckoning and retribution is coming. The day of reckoning and retribution is coming. Now, what did he mean by the day of reckoning and retribution is coming? I think he meant this announcement here. I think he think he meant this announcement here. Where is it? I got so much to talk about, man. I think he meant, where is it? Where is it? Because this is important. Did I do the $1 billion? I'm gonna get back to the billions. This is what he meant. This is what he meant. I think these stories accompany one another, right? So Trump warned of a day of reckoning, and I think that day has come. That day is coming in March. I think that day is coming in March. So earlier I was talking about Trump administration's TPS for 2,500 Somalis sets March 2026 departure. A lot of you may not know what this is and may not know what type of helping hand, how great a country America is. How great a country America is, right? A lot of you may not know how great a country America is. And so we extend a lot of help to people. It wasn't just the fact that we invited the Somalis here and we gave them welfare for years and, just made them our friends and neighbors, but we afforded them special privileges. So let's take a look at this. Trump administration ends TPS for 2,500 Somalis, sets March 2026 departure. The Trump administration terminated temporary protection status for Somalia, a program in place since 1991 due to civil war. Do you guys understand how severe this fraud? We got Americans being shot by Americans, right? We got $19 billion allegedly stolen. And now we come to learn that America, because how long ago, you guys, listen to this. Somali, we opened up our doors to them in the 90s, right? In the early 90s, because they were going through a conflict, a lot like Biden did during his administration. He said these people are going through a conflict, so Biden opened the door, and they said these are refugees, and 8 million people left Venezuela. Did y'all know 8 million people left Venezuela? As you talk about how Maduro was such a good guy, why did so many people? I showed a video of a mother who left Venezuela, and she was crying because she said it was so bad. I left with my baby on my back and we traveled through a jungle. She said, I would not travel through a jungle to get to America if it wasn't for Maduro being a dictator. That's how severe it was. 8 million people left. And people forget about that. Trump administration terminated temporary protection status for Somalia, a program in place since 1991 due to civil war, affecting 2,471 current holders and 1,300 pending applications, many in Minnesota's large Somali community. Noem stated that the move serves national interests amid reports of fraud in state aid programs linked to Somali nonprofits. Critics like Minnesota AG Keith Alex sued over ICE raids, calling them unlawful occupation, while Trump allies praised it as putting America's first, right? Breaking news, Trump and Secretary Noem has officially ended temporary protective status for Somalis in the United States. Thousands must leave by March 17th or be deported, right? Thousands must leave by March 17th or be deported. And this is the thing. Imagine having permission to be here. Imagine having this protected status and then treating.
Out! 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 Get out! Get out! Out!
Imagine being here as a guest. Imagine somebody being a guest in your home and telling you to get out of your own home. Imagine someone being a guest in your home and then telling you to get out of your own home. So these people are guests. They're not even all citizens. Come to find out, some of them are here under a protected status from 1991. That's a long time. Why wouldn't they become citizens or go back home or do something besides be under this status that can be removed and have you deported? Why wouldn't you try to go do paperwork and increase your status because they feel so comfortable?
Get out! You're not supposed to be here. Get out! 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 Out!
How do you feel seeing this now? A lot of people saw this and they applauded. How do you feel seeing this now, knowing that these individuals were here under a protected status as a favor? And the way they return the favor is to yell and curse at ICE agents. How do you feel about that? Honestly, it doesn't really matter how you feel because Trump has removed the protection. Doesn't even look safe for our federal agents. These guys are not only American citizens, but they're officers of the law and federal officers at that. Don't even look safe as these people are here as a favor. We're doing them a favor, allowing them protected status to be here. This is how they treat the federal officers. Out! 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 Get out! Get out! Out! Now Trump has said, you get out. Trump has said, you get out. This is how they treated federal officers after being given a favor to be here. How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? Now you learn about this protected status. How you feel about that? How you learn about this protected status, right? That we allowed them to be here protected and without sanction, right? President Trump ends temporary protected status for thousands of Somalis in the U.S. Somali migrants with TPS will be required to leave by March 17th. Remember that. We're going to talk about that more. We're going to talk about that more. Breaking the Trump administration has just revoked temporary protected status of thousands of Somalis. Let's go to another video of how they acted. The weird part is they've been told that this is legal and acceptable. Because a lot of people may say, and they're not even citizens, brothers and sisters. They're not even citizens. They've stolen $19 billion. You think they would be more humble? You think they would be more humble and more thankful? Instead, they out here protesting, threatening federal agents. And they are mistaken. They believe that they have an entitlement to rights that they don't even really have. This is the scary part of the country that the Democrats have created. Where were all these motherfuckers when Nick Shirley did the video? Shit, y'all still wouldn't be in business if y'all would have been at the damn daycare center like you were supposed to. Where all these motherfuckers was at when Feeding Our Future was passing out meals? This is a problem. So we're going to be watching this March 17th, you guys. March 17th, we're going to be watching this. We're going to be watching this. I told you a lot of what's happening so far in the country is that a lot of people have these deportation orders that were given out by Biden, but Biden just didn't make sure that they went through. Trump is the one that's been forced. Trump is the one that's been forced to make sure that we get the people that's been given deportation orders out of here. You know what I'm saying? So breaking news, that ends on March 17th. We're going to be watching it. We're going to be watching it to see how that goes. You know, if people self-deport, if they're going to create a program, like to get them on a boat, you know what I'm saying, or get them on a plane, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to see, we're going to follow that story and see what happens and see how that goes. March 17th, we got 2,700 Somalis that got to go by March 17th due to the fraud and due to Trump administration doing their job. Double tap at the like button, man. Double tap at the like button. Trump doing this thug thizzle, man. Trump doing this thug thizzle. Trump in temporary protective status for Somalis. Let's review another video, fair use. Fair use, fair use. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Fair use, fair use. Let's look at another video. Trump ends temporary protective status. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this.
In the United States, we're taking a look here at a social media post courtesy of Fox News, and Fox News Digital saying this: the Trump administration a temporary protection status for Somalia, affecting several thousand Somalis currently living in the U.S. and several hundred currently living in Minnesota under the protection. Somali migrants with TPS will be required to leave the country by March 17th. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told Fox News Digital in a statement, quote, "Temporary means temporary. Country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the law's requirement for temporary protected status." That statement went on to say, quote, "Further, allowing Somali nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is currently and contrary to our national interests. We are putting Americans first." Bringing us out to a live image that we have of the White House over in Washington, D.C., as I continue to cite some more of this reporting courtesy of Fox News Digital. Sources tell Fox News Digital that there are 2,471 Somali nationals currently in the U.S. under TPS, with just over 1,300 in the country with pending TPS applications. The move comes as DHS continues.
So I wonder, is that potentially like 3,500 that could be asked to leave? I wonder.
ICE operations in Minneapolis, Minnesota, after a widespread, roughly $9 billion fraud scheme involving members of the Somali community.
We had 19 billion now.
Plagued the state. Fox News Digital learned that an estimated 600 Somali nationals who are protected by TPS live in Minnesota. Now, Somalia was granted temporary protection status in 1991 as a result of an ongoing civil war in the African nation. Former President Biden most recently extended the protection in September of 2024. Now, the decision to end TPS for Somalia also comes a day after Minneapolis, the Twin Cities there, Minneapolis and St. Paul, sued the Trump administration after a historic federal immigration enforcement operation was launched by ICE and DHS. Last week, during ICE operations in South Minneapolis, a woman was fatally shot by an immigration officer as she drove her vehicle toward agents, prompting agitators to riot across the city and in cities across the U.S. Secretary Noem labeled the woman who was killed, Renee Nicole Good, a, quote, domestic terrorist, saying, quote, she weaponized her vehicle after blocking ICE agents on the road. Now, footage from the encounter shows an agent approaching Good's vehicle and ordering her to step out. And according to Noem, Good then attempted to run over the officer, prompting the agent to fire multiple shots into the car, killing the 37-year-old mother. Now, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is saying,
so that's another report right there. What do y'all think in the chat? Was it justified? Y'all going crazy in the chat. Was it justified? Kristi Noem again saying that he was hit and it was justified. Put a 1 in the chat. Was the shooting justified?
Quite the contrary to that. And also telling ICE agents to get out of Minneapolis during a news conference that he held after Good's death. Governor Tim Walz there of Minnesota criticized DHS, posting to X that he saw the video and referred to Noem's explanation of the incident as a part of a, quote, propaganda machine. But we just wanted to bring you this breaking news coming out of the Trump administration, as they did confirm to Fox News Digital that they are ending the temporary protective status for Somalis in the U.S.
We grew up on a lot of
temporary status removed. Temporary status removed. Temporary status removed. Temporary status removed. Treasury Secretary targets $9 billion Minnesota Medicaid fraud scheme. We still in Minnesota. We still in Minnesota. Double tap at the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. So a lot of you may not have even known that over 3,000 Somalis were here under this protection since 1991, and that Biden just renewed the protection. Biden just renewed the protection. How many people knew that? A lot of you didn't know that they've been here that long, and Biden just renewed the protection. I'd ask another question. Why didn't Biden make it permanent? You know, Biden renewed the Obamacare subsidies, but again, made them temporary and made them so that they would expire this year. Biden was hedging his bets that he would be president again. Biden played you guys. Everything Biden did was betting on the fact that he would have a second term. He put all these things in 2026 because he was gonna use them to run again in 2026 on the 2026 midterms. He just assumed that he would win. So he made the subsidies temporary. He did all these things temporarily, thinking that he would win a second term. And now you guys are screwed, pointing your finger at Donald Trump when Barack Obama created the Affordable Care Act in 2008, and all the way to 2022, it still wasn't done. Me and my chat discussed it. I said, chat, how long is that? The chat said 15 fucking years. 15 years. And Obamacare still wasn't ready to give you. Obamacare still wasn't a product that you could accept and digest, and it never was what they promised. It never was free health care. It never was single payer. It basically was a mandate. What did you actually get from Obama in Obamacare? You got a mandate, a legal mandate. They expanded government, and they gave trillions of dollars to the insurance companies. When Trump says they made trillions, their stock went up 46,000%. People don't believe Trump. People think Trump is lying. But the young people don't remember the mandate. They don't remember that the only thing they got from hope and change and the Barack Obama promise was a law that said they had to sign up for health care. That never existed before. Not for your grandmother, not for your great grandmother. If they went to the church, if they went to the doctor, they went to the doctor. But all you got with Obamacare, you didn't get single payer, you didn't get free health care. Instead, you had a law. And you should have felt screwed over. Like, wait a minute, you promised me free health care. Then you said you was going to give me single payer. Then you said, sorry, you couldn't give me single payer. And instead, I got a fucking mandate and I got a penalty. I got a mandate and a penalty that if I don't sign up for healthcare, you're going to take away my taxes. Thank God Donald Trump won the first election and Donald Trump got rid of the mandate. How many people don't, I can tell that people don't remember. All you got from the Affordable Care Act was a mandate. That's all you got was a law requiring you to sign up for health care. You didn't get single payer. You didn't get free health care. You got a law. And because Trump, remember what Obama said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. The Republicans won't let me. The insurance companies won't let me. Why the fuck are the insurance companies involved with our health care? Fuck the insurance companies. Didn't Trump just say fuck the insurance companies and went directly to the drug companies and made a deal? Didn't Trump just say fuck the insurance companies and went straight to the drug companies and made a deal? Went to Macron and told Macron, you're going to drop your drug prices or I'm going to increase your tariffs. Ain't that what Trump just did? Ain't that what Trump just did? But Obama said, oh, the insurance companies are making me. I can't do it. The insurance companies are making me, right? So you didn't get health care. You didn't get single payer. And Barack Obama got bullied by the insurance companies. And the insurance companies said the only way we'll allow you to pass this bullshit, and it was bullshit from the beginning. It was all hope and dream. It was all smoke and mirrors. And the only way it was able to pass is they said, we'll give them a mandate. And then the mandate is how it got passed. Remember, the only way we can do Obamacare, remember, no one remembers this because you guys don't really care. You guys don't really care about politics. That's why they're in the middle of the street trolling and doing all this stupid shit. They're not really doing the research. They're not really doing the research. So why didn't Biden make the shit permanent? Why didn't Biden, so all of those Somalians, those 3,500 Somalians who have to leave now, my question to your Democratic God, your royalty, remember, no kings, why didn't your king, Joe Biden, make the TPS another 10 years, right? So Trump couldn't do this, what he's doing right now. Why did Biden extend it only for like 16 months? This is a valid question. If Biden just extended it in 2024, why didn't he make it permanent? Why is Trump able to shut it down? See, why didn't Biden make the Affordable Care Act subsidies permanent? Why are the Democrats, why are the Republicans able to allow them to expire? See, people are mad at the Republicans. The Republicans didn't kill Obamacare. Obamacare died. Obamacare was on life support from the beginning. Republicans didn't have to kill it. Joe Biden is the person. If you want to blame anybody for the death of Obamacare, blame Joe Biden. And why didn't he make those subsidies permanent? Why didn't he make those subsidies permanent? Why did Joe Biden put an expiration date on Obamacare of December 31st? They thought they would be in the White House, y'all. They thought they would be in the White House and they would be able to use this as leverage. Remember, order the deal. Biden and Kamala thought they would still be in the White House and they would be able to leverage these subsidies in Congress and create this media storm and, oh, the Republicans, and we need to make these subsidies. Why make this fight? The Democrats like the hoopla. They like the drama. Why did they set another date? The same thing that's going to happen at the end of this month. Who knows when the budget is due? Does everybody know that we're working with the clean CR right now? Does everybody know we're working with the clean CR? That the Congress still hasn't submitted a budget. The Affordable Care Act vote hasn't come through yet. Why haven't they voted on the Affordable Care Act subsidies? Did y'all know y'all watching the political channel? Did y'all know y'all watching the political channel and I do my shit, I'm doing my big one. Why haven't they voted on the Affordable Care Act subsidies? We don't have a budget. And the Democrats are going to wait till the 31st to try to fight and make changes to a law via the resolution process, which is improper procedure. Just go to appropriations and create your own fucking bill. The American people deserve a budget. Democrats and Republicans, it's your job to create a budget. We're on a continuing resolution. It expires January 31st. Who thinks the government going to shut down? Who thinks the government going to shut down January 31st? Or do the Democrats have a plan? I told you here that the Marxist strategy of the Democratic Party is shutdowns. It was in the Wall Street Journal where Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, and Jasmine Crockett admitted that the shutdown was a Democratic design shutdown and that they see shutdowns as a viable tactic for the Democratic Party going forward during the Trump administration. I reported the news here. I'm not making this up. This is news I reported here. This is news I reported here. Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, and Jasmine Crockett see shutdowns as a viable tactic against the Trump administration. So I ask you, will we see another shutdown January 31st? Will we see another shutdown? They just shut down Minnesota schools. Blame it ICE. I got to get that. I got to get to that. Did they shut down Minnesota schools? Hold on. Did they shut down Minnesota right now because of ICE? We're going to go first-hand report. Man, I got the best chat in the building. W chat, man. I got the best chat in the building. We're going to get the information right now, man. As of January 13th, there are no widespread current school closures in Minnesota, including Minneapolis, reported of weather-related issues. There was a minor winter weather advisory. However, some Minneapolis area schools, a few nearby districts like Fridley did cancel or shift remote/flex learning last week, the 7th through the 9th. But there was due to safety concern, but that was due to safety concerns from ICE, Immigration and Custom Immigration Operation protests, not weather. That's what I'm asking. So that's what I'm asking. So today, are there any closures due to ICE agents? So today, thank you. Come on. I was trying to verify what my people told me in my chat, man. No, not of today. So right now, I can't confirm it, bro. I can't confirm it, bro. Right now, they saying they can't confirm it, man. School closures in I'm getting it right now. I'm getting it right now. No, 1 day ago. Nothing right now up to the minute, bro. Nothing right now up to the minute, bro. Last week they reported some, but nothing right now. That would have been something we would have went to that right now. We would have went to that right now. We would have went to that right now. Okay. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent spotlighted a sprawling fraud in Minnesota's Medicaid programs, including child care, transportation, and interpreters. Wow, the fraud keeps getting deeper and more expansive, where Somali-owned businesses allegedly billed up to $9 billion for non-existent services. A local video revealed dozens of licensed daycares with no children, while investigator David Hoke found most of 70 transport sites didn't exist despite receiving hefty payments. Bessent vowed aggressive crackdowns at a January 9th roundtable announcing new task force amid federal charges, ICE raids, and bipartisan admissions of the problem scale from officials like Mayor Jacob Fry. Doe's chairman Tim Burchett drops the hammer. I think we're sick of hearings. We're sick of all this. We just need justice. Let's go to the video right now.
Report that just came out on December 13th of last year that says that 81% of Somalis were receiving some sort of welfare in Minnesota.
If you don't know the answer to this, just tell me. Do you have any knowledge or heard any talk that the Somalis are directing any of these funds to American U.S. tax dollars to Al-Shabaab terrorist organization?
There have been past criminal convictions in this, and currently we believe it's mostly happening indirectly as they send money to Somalia that Al-Shabaab takes a cut.
Y'all agree with that? We good with that? Do you think the design of the social service programs incentivizes fraud and abuse?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. When you are willing to hand over a sack of money to somebody on the assumption that they're going to provide a benevolent service, and then you never check to see if they actually did, obviously you're going to invite fraud, waste, and abuse.
If you give money to people based on the fact they're going to provide a service and never check if they actually did, enrollment-based funding, never take attendance, never verify if the students show up, never verify if meals actually were eaten, right? There was no verification process. They were paid based on enrollment, and they were paid automatically via a software system, and they were paid in advance. $2 million to the Leering Center. Never even fixed the sign. $2 million to the Leering Center.
Ma'am.
Yeah, absolutely. We just stood up a new program that we'll probably talk about in a little bit, which is the paid family leave program. It was literally designed by Democrats to have waste, fraud, and abuse on a grand scale.
Okay, I'm going to be out of time. Mr. Chairman, thank you. But I think America, we're sick of the hearings. We're sick of all this. We need justice. We need convictions if these folks are guilty, and that needs to happen.
I agree. And that's why Trump just ended the TPS protections. All the protections they had under the Democrats are gone.
Add to that, ma'am.
So that is something that we have heard repeatedly from whistleblowers and others, that there is, yes, I would call it a cottage industry of people that when you land on our soil, that they are going to teach you all the different ways to sign up for multiple social service programs. And there's also that. So they sign.
We talked about this. They don't even have to go to the welfare office. It's not only that, they don't even have to go to the DMV for driver's licenses. Because of the way the Democrats set up these sanctuary cities and these liberal programs, because they don't speak English when they get here, they go to these they get special offices in their community. They don't go to the same welfare office that you go to. The Somalians go to their own welfare office. Did you guys know that? And they get automatically approved because they get trained on what to say and how to get approval. Because does anybody even realize how do you get 80% of people on welfare? It's because that they're doing what she just said. When they get here, they get trained how to apply for all of these services, and they don't even have to go to the welfare office. How do I know that? I live in Northern California, and the Chinese have a similar thing. I live in Northern California, and the Asians have a similar thing where they can go to this Asian Heritage Foundation, and they get. This is why you see the Asian and the Chinese allegedly in the Walmart with the Louis Vuitton purses and the EBT card. They don't gotta go to the same welfare office that you go to. Did anybody know that? Can anybody speak to that in the chat? Americans, white people and black people, don't you notice when you go to the welfare office, who do you see? Whites and blacks. Whites and blacks. The Somalian immigrants, they got their own welfare office. How many people knew that? They got their own DMV. That's how they get the licenses. That's how they get all this stuff. 80% of them get it. They don't have to go. They're not sitting in front of Susan. They're not sitting in front of Susan. When they come here and they can't speak English because they have these barriers, they go to these special offices. They don't sit in front of Susan with their passport and say, Susan, I just got here and they told me to come here and get welfare. Susan wouldn't know how to process their claim. They go to a special office with welfare workers who live here, like Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. They meet Somalians who speak Somalis and they process their paperwork. White men and black men, if you fall out of luck and you go to the welfare office, you go to the same place. We got to go to the welfare office, and Susan is going to look at us very strictly and find out if you qualify for welfare. What you need to understand is they don't even have to go through qualification. They just get it, bro. You understand what I'm talking about? Double tap at the like button. You understand what I'm talking about? Double tap at the like button, man. A lot of this we showed already. All right, we doing the cleanup. We getting it done, man. Y'all heard about the Clintons? Trump supporters are outraged, calling for the Clintons to be prosecuted and thrown in prison for refusing to show up for congressional subpoena. How many people heard about that, man? How many heard about the Clintons being subpoenaed and refusing? And then the leader of that committee, I think Jasmine Crockett was on that committee too, is saying that, let's take a look.
Issued a subpoena from the January 6th committee. That committee seeking testimony and records from Trump as part of its investigation into the Capitol insurrection and the efforts, of course, to overturn the 2020 election. Former President Donald Trump now issued a subpoena from the January 6th committee. That committee seeking testimony and records from Trump as part of its investigation into the Capitol insurrection and the efforts.
I don't know why they showed that. We know that already. Who is that right there? Why they do him like that, man? That's your boy right there. Y'all see that? That's your boy right there. That's your boy right there. Y'all see that? Let's see right here. This is the shadow weapon drug trafficking. So this one right here, I didn't even know about this one, man. This was a cold one right here, man. I don't know if we're gonna watch that. I'll show you this right here, though.
We will move next week in the House Oversight Committee markup to hold former President Clinton in contempt of Congress.
Did y'all hear that? This my boy right here. They're gonna hold him in contempt of Congress for not coming in to testify. Breaking news: the Clintons are on the verge of being held in contempt of Congress and could be arrested and prosecuted if they don't come in and testify.
Unanimously by the committee in a bipartisan manner, we will move next week in the House Oversight Committee markup to hold former President Clinton in contempt of Congress. With that, be happy to answer any questions real quick. Mr. Chairman, anybody on the committee? Well, President Trump has answered thousands of questions about Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, I would say today, you all ask him questions every day. He answers questions every day about Epstein. Well, you can't bring in a current president of the United States, and you all know that. So, but President Trump has answered thousands of questions about Epstein. I bet today, at some point, some of you all will ask President Trump questions about Epstein.
Right.
He answers those questions. To my knowledge, former President Clinton has never answered questions about Epstein. And we just had questions because, again, I think anyone would admit they spent a lot of time together while Bill Clinton was president and post-presidency.
They spent a lot of time together, huh? I'm gonna play that again. Hold on, I want to show something real quick. I'm gonna play that again. I think anybody would admit they spent a lot of time together, huh? They spent a lot of time together during the presidency and post-presidency, huh? Do y'all see this, man? How this is Jelaine at the wedding, right there, front row at the wedding. I know a lot of people have heard about these pics, man. A lot of people heard about these pics, but here you go. And don't you just love my Republicans, man? I just love my Republicans, man. So here you go, man. Front row. What they call this, floor seats. I think they call this floor seats. Ghislaine floor seats at the wedding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Hillary, Ghislaine. You know what I'm saying? And then look, President Clinton in the White House with Epstein. They looking like brothers. Do y'all remember the picture? You know, they twinning right here. What's up, twin? Do y'all remember the picture with Epstein and Clinton in matching platinum Versace shirts? I said, oh, that MAGA. I said, whoa, that MAGA. Donald Trump, I'm sorry. It was Clinton and Epstein in these shiny platinum shirts in the 90s like they was going to a Diddy freak off. You cannot make this shit up. And they was in matching platinum Versace shirts. I'm like, man, they was having the ball, man. They was having the ball, man. So here it is, Clinton. Here it is, Clinton with Epstein in the White House. You know what I'm saying? I just want to show you this before I play the video again. Inspector General report, Hillary Clinton and Foundation crime against children, right? I just want to show y'all that. I just want to show y'all that before we go back to this.
Unanimously by the committee in a bipartisan manner. Unanimously by the committee in a bipartisan manner. We will move next week in the House Oversight Committee markup to hold former President Clinton in contempt of Congress. Yeah, so with that, be happy to answer any questions real quick.
Mr. Chairman.
Anybody on the committee? Well, President Trump has answered thousands of questions about Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, I would say today, well, you all ask him questions every day. He answers questions every day about Epstein. Well, you can't bring in a current president of the United States, and you all know that. So, but President Trump has answered thousands of questions about Epstein. I bet today, at some point, some of you all will ask President Trump questions about Epstein. He answers those questions. To my knowledge, former President Clinton has never answered questions about Epstein. And we just had questions because, again, I think anyone would admit they spent a lot of time together while Bill Clinton was president and post-presidency.
Facts. And we just showed the picture proof. They spent a lot of time together. They spent a lot of time together, including wearing Versace shirts and doing the P. Diddy.
Unanimously by the committee in a bipartisan manner, we will move next week in the House Oversight Committee markup to hold former President.
Do y'all remember this, man? I can't play this stuff, but y'all remember this stuff, man. This is when that stuff about, we can't play that stuff, but y'all remember that, the Haiti.
The House Oversight Committee also pursued Trump and get testimony from him with as much zeal.
Why would they need it? The President Trump
he had a past relationship. Just
President Trump gives open, unending press conferences on a daily basis. Anybody can ask him anything, and he's addressed this issue ad nauseum.
Under oath, it's different.
The Clintons have not, and I think it's defiance of Congress for them to defy the subpoena. I think by definition, it's a contempt of Congress, and we'll have to see how that plays out.
Mr. Speaker, there's going to be we have these crises in we have these crises. Clintons defied the subpoena today. One, are you going to hold them in contempt? Two, should the House Oversight Committee also pursue Trump and get testimony?
So yes, the answer is yes. The Clintons are being held in contempt, and we're not deflecting. we're not deflecting we're not deflecting to Trump, because this is about Clinton. And I think we need to do the same thing to Comey. I think we need to do the same thing to Comey, right? I think Comey, because we got a lot of questions for Comey. You know what I'm saying? Epstein survivor. What is she talking about? We not doing that. We not doing Jones. The Clintons are due to testify. Need to make this go viral. They need to testify. Yeah, man, that was his buddy, man. Y'all, I present the birthday book. Did you guys learn about the birthday book, the Epstein birthday book? How many people knew about the Epstein birthday book, huh? When he turned 50, Bill Clinton wrote him a happy birthday. Did anybody know that? The birthday book, did anybody know that? Oh man, let me see. I've been playing. Let me cancel that. Oh, that's better. That's better. So what else we got, you guys? What else we got? Oh, Fed chair. Fed chair. I forgot about the Fed chair. I keep forgetting him for the last couple of days. I know somebody been upset at me, man, because I be seeing y'all, man. I know y'all want to hear about the Fed chair investigation. So the Fed chair being investigated, Jerome Powell. Let's see what's up with this right here. Video message from Federal Reserve Jerome Powell. Ask yourself if your office has these elements. Powell's office include new marbles, special VIP elevators, VIP dining rooms, new water features, beehives, and roof garden terraces. He is accused of lying to Congress about luxury elements. Does your office have items like these? Are these needed for a government official, right? Let me say to you one time, summarize the comment section for all of you. So that's what's we're gonna get his response. When does the price stability part of your blah, 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 blah. So let's see what he got to say.
Evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
What y'all
Good evening.
What y'all think, man? I love Trump going after these guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's guilty. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's guilty. I love Trump going after these guys, man. I love Trump going after these guys, man. For real, man. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's guilty, man. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he is guilty. Remember I talked to you about Iran tariffs, 25%. I had some on that, but I don't know where it is. I had something on there, but I did know Trump was in Detroit today, and Trump erupts in laughter after declares inflation defeated. So I wanted to get this.
America is respected again like never before. And other than that, we're not doing that well. So lucky to be here. Under our administration, growth is exploding, productivity is soaring, investment is booming, incomes are rising, inflation is defeated, America is respected again like never before. And other than that, we're not doing that well. So lucky to be here. Under our administration, growth is exploding, productivity is soaring, investment is booming, incomes are rising, inflation is defeated, America is respected again like never before. And other than that, we're not.
This is today in Detroit.
Not doing that well.
This is today in Detroit. And
So lucky to be here. Under our administration, growth is.
This is today in Detroit.
And the results are in, and the Trump economic boom is officially begun. It's really begun almost from the. And the results are in, and the Trump economic boom is officially begun. It's really begun almost from the. And the results are in, and the Trump economic boom is officially begun. It's really begun almost from the.
This is the Trump speaking at the Detroit.
The results are in.
This is Trump speaking at the Detroit Economic Forum today. President Trump, when the market goes up, Fed should lower rates. This is him talking on the indictment.
Raise rates. So everyone says, oh, they announced great numbers. It's great, great, great. And the market goes down because they immediately raise rates. No, great. And the market goes down because they immediately raise rates. No, when the market goes up, they should lower rates. You want to see 20% and 25%? You want to see what we can do? We've got to go back to an old standard. When there's good news, the market should go up, not go down. Does that make sense to everybody? And that's the way it used to be for most of the time. That's the way you make a country great. But our growth potential is unlimited and could be much higher if we went back to sanity. We're not doing it anymore. We're talking about the head of the Fed. And I want somebody that when the market is doing great, interest rates can go down because our country becomes stronger. See, you view it differently. Our country becomes stronger, and therefore interest rates should go down, not up. They kill every rally.
They kill every rally. They kill every rally. This is Donald Trump speaking in Detroit about Donald Trump's economy, how well the economy is doing. This is Donald Trump speaking in Detroit about the economy, how well the economy is doing.
Possible in the Fed. We have a real stiff in the Fed, but that's for another day. But they raise rates. So everyone says, oh, they announced great numbers. It's great, great, great. And the market goes down because they immediately raise rates. No, when the market goes up, they should lower rates. You want to see 20% and 25%? You want to see what we can do? We've got to go back to an old standard. When there's good news, the market should go up, not go down. Does that make sense to everybody? And that's the way it used to be for most of the time. That's the way you make a country great. But our growth potential is unlimited and could be much higher if we went back to sanity. We're not doing it anymore. We're talking about the head of the Fed. And I want somebody that when the market is doing great, interest rates can go down because our country becomes stronger. See, you view it differently. Our country becomes stronger, and therefore interest rates should go down, not up. They kill every rally.
Right? As we talk about Fed Chair Jerome Powell being indicted, Donald Trump speaking to how the Fed.
In the Fed, we have a real stiff in the Fed.
What the hell?
Possible in the Fed. We have a real stiff in the Fed, but that's for another day. But they raise rates. So everyone says, oh, they announced great numbers. It's great, great, great. And the market goes down because they immediately raise rates. No, when the market goes up, they should lower rates. You want to see 20% and 25%? You want to see what we can do? We've got to go back to an old standard. When there's good news, the market should go up, not go down. Does that make sense to everybody? And that's the way it used to be for most of the time. That's the way you make a country great. But our growth potential is unlimited and could be much higher if we went back to sanity. We're not doing it anymore. We're talking about the head of the Fed. And I want somebody that when the market is doing great, interest rates can go down because our country becomes stronger. See, you view it differently. Our country becomes stronger, and therefore interest rates should go down, not up. They kill every rally.
Donald Trump in Detroit speaking on the Trump economy.
Results are in, and the Trump economic boom is possible. It's a good idea. We could afford $1 more. We gave him $17.76. Meanwhile, grocery prices are starting to go rapidly down. Rent is down. Airfares are down. Hotel rates are down. Cell phone prices are down. And we're just getting started. But more important, it's a good idea. We could afford $1 more. We gave him $17.76. Meanwhile, grocery prices are starting to go rapidly down. Rent is down. Airfares are down. Hotel rates are down. Cell phone prices are down. And we're just getting started. But more important, it's a good idea. We could afford $1 more. We gave him $17.76. Meanwhile, grocery prices
What else we got? What else we got? What else?
are starting to go rapidly down. Rent is down. Airfares are down. Hotel rates are down. Cell phone prices are down. Today, if you announce great numbers, they raise interest rates to try and kill it. So you can never really have the kind of rally you should have. What happens and what we want, we're going to have a lot of great months, a lot of great quarters. I want the market to go up. You announce unbelievable numbers and the market goes down because they know that.
Technical.
You're going to do everything possible in the Fed. We have a real stiff in the Fed, but that's for another day. But they raise rates. So everyone says, oh, they announced great numbers. It's great, great, great. And the market goes down because they immediately raise rates. No, when the market goes up, they should lower rates. You want to see 20% and 25%? You want to see what we can do? We've got to go back to an old standard. When there's good news, the market should go up, not go down. Does that make sense to everybody? And that's the way it used to be for most of the time. That's the way you make a country great. But our growth potential is unlimited and could be much higher.
I'm just getting all the clips, y'all. Sometimes we get a new one. Sometimes they go back into the same shit. They clip it up differently.
If we went back to sanity, we're not doing it anymore. We're talking about the head of the Fed. And I want somebody that when the market is doing great, interest rates can go down because our country.
So Jerome Powell being indicted right now.
Fifth, and it's other things, but it's also, I think, maybe the biggest part, the election, because I'm the tariff person. And everybody now admits that I was right on tariffs.
I was right. I was right. I was right. Everybody now admits that we was right on tariffs. I was right. I was right. Say it again for me, Donnie, baby.
The election, November 5th, and it's other things, but it's also, I think, maybe the biggest part, the election, because I'm the tariff person.
Right.
And everybody now admits that I was right on tariffs.
I was right. Who's the tariff person in the chat? Who is the tariff person in the chat? Who been talking this tariff shit? What do I call it today? I said today is a terrific Tuesday. Put tariff with terrific. And what do we say? Today is a terrific Tuesday. Let's go, MAGA. Because I'm the tariff guy. Am I the tariff guy, y'all? Who has been touting tariffs this whole time? Purpose of a podcast. Let's go.
The election, November 5th, and it's other things, but it's also, I think, maybe the biggest part, the election, because I'm the tariff person. And everybody now admits that I was right on tariffs. And I hope that we win the Supreme Court case.
Mr. President, what about the raw
The election, November 5th.
That's right,
and it's
baby.
other things, but it's all.
That's right, baby. That's right, baby. Terrific Tuesday. It's a terrific Tuesday. Shout out to the Trump administration, baby. Shout out to the Trump administration, baby. A terrific Tuesday. What the hell?
Back to an old standard. When there's good news,
All right, y'all. That's Trump today in Detroit. That's Trump today in Detroit. That's Trump today in Detroit. Doing his big one. Trump today in Detroit. Oh, no. Cussing in the chat. YouTube, where you at? YouTube, where you at, man? YouTube, where you at? Respect the community guidelines. Everybody in the chat, respect the community guidelines, brothers and sisters. Respect the community guidelines, brothers and sisters. Respect the community guidelines. Respect the community guidelines. Guard your privacy and respect the community guidelines. Respect the community guidelines, y'all. Be respectful. Be respectful, y'all. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Show some respect in the chat. Appreciate it. Who was it, Mr. Bolsky? Call him out. Who was the person? Mr. Bolsky, who was it? Call him out. I see a F DJ. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Who was it, Mr. Bolsky? Call him out. That no, I saw you saying something. It's manufacturer job loss. We added 64,000 jobs. Inflation came in at 2.7. Gloria Le Artis. Gloria Le Artis. I like that. All right. Who else can we get out of here? All right. What else we got for my beautiful, beautiful people, man? What else we got for my beautiful, beautiful people, man? Immigration agents deploy flash bombs. We're not going to do that. A women attempts. Immigration agents stop a construction site. We're not going to do that one either. Benevito leads feds against protesters in Minneapolis. We're not going to do that one either. Man gives his account of insurrection with immigrant agents. They turned the light on him and they would let, I was going to pull over, but then let's see what he talking about. Let's see what he talking about. Let's see what he talking about. First-hand account, let's see what he talking about.
They saw this mustache and they saw me, with a hat. Oh, this guy looks like a target. They came up to me like trying to grab me out of the car, but I got out first. I was like, "What do you want? What is your problem? You hit me." And then he's like, "Well, you got papers? Show me some of these." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna show you anything. I'm a citizen."
Why do you think they ran into your vehicle and tried to pull you out of the car?
Because I look Latino. That's it. I don't look white or got blue eyes. I'm sorry to say that, guys. But they saw this mustache and they saw me, with a hat. Oh, this guy looks like a target. Let's pull him over.
And did they do anything before they ran into you? Did
No.
they say stop?
No,
Did they say?
didn't. Well, they turned the light on, and then that's when I took a left. And I was gonna pull over, but then before I pulled over, they just hit me.
Thankfully, we are citizens and we were safe and no one was detained or shot or anything. I was terrified, shaking, crying.
What did you think was going to happen to this guy?
I didn't know. I didn't know, honestly. I just wanted him to come home safely to our kids. We have 4 kids, and that was they're always on my mind, and I want them to have a dad and a mom.
People are terrified. People are scared. People want to leave their country. They don't want to come out of their houses. They don't want to go to work. They're scared for the family, the kids. It could happen to anybody,
I don't know if I believe this, man. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe this guy, cause he look like he just making up a video, man. I don't see nobody messing with him. Did nobody mess with you, homie?
They came up to me like
it'll be on video. TikToker uploads video showing another view of a large presence immigration agents in St. Cloud, Minnesota. You can hear the protesters taunting officers. We're not gonna play all of that cussing and stuff like that. This is a woman shares video showing a large number of immigration agents and protesters in St. Cloud. Over there is the police. They are just standing there doing nothing. Even they are afraid of ICE. I don't think that's what truly is happening.
Sentirme más que ustedes, esto es para informarles bien de lo que está pasando y que esto de verdad no es un juego, esto no es un juego. Hace rato estaban pegando a una señora con una pala, la estaban maltratando y ahorita no sé ni en dónde se fue la señora. Y fíjense que la policía...
Why the Latinos out there? They're at the Somalian daycare. The ICE agents are there to get the Somalian criminals. And then it's like the Latinos are being paid or being coerced. But they're at a Somalian facility where they be doing the Somalian money transfers because there's billion-dollar fraud and they surround it.
no están haciendo absolutamente nada.
That's strip malls or strip malls, Somalian businesses that they're investigating for fraud.
Están haciendo nada. Es St. Cloud, Minnesota. St. Cloud, Minnesota.
St. Cloud, Minnesota. We heard you. We heard you.
Está atrás de Wells Fargo. Atrás de Wells Fargo.
They're not going to leave, bro. They want you to leave so they can do what they have to do.
Miren, mi gente, por favor, al compartir esto, al compartir, miren, no puedo enseñar muy bien, pero hay mucha gente de ICE.
Y'all hear all the whistles? Y'all hear all the whistles? Remember I said earlier they use the whistles like a sonic weapon. Y'all hear the whistles?
Hay muchas personas. Mira, ahí vienen. Están yendo por allá por otras casas también. Cara de nopal, mijo. Cara de nopal. Sin vergüenza.
They're looking at them like, what are you even doing here? We're here to arrest Somali. They looking at the Mexicans like, what are y'all even doing here? They're at a Somalian strip mall to stop the fraud. You should be happy.
Mucha gente aquí. Muchos agentes de ICE también. Tenemos a mucha gente acá protestando. Por allá nomás está la policía. Si pueden ver el carro hasta allá. Nomás.
Do y'all think the Somalians would do this for whites and Mexican Americans? Do y'all think the Somalian community would protest for white people and Mexican Americans? Do y'all think the Somali community would do the same thing for y'all? Because what you see is you see white people and Mexicans blowing the whistle, helping the Somalians avoid fraud detection.
Se están parando hasta allá. Ni siquiera están haciendo nada las policías. Hasta ellos le tienen miedo al ICE. Es en St. Cloud, Minnesota. Estamos en St. Cloud, Minnesota, atrás del Wells Fargo Banco.
All white people on this side. All over there, the Somalians. What y'all think, man? What y'all think? I don't think they would either, bro. I don't think they would either, bro. Straight up. I don't think they would either, bro. Let me read this for you guys. Justice Department probes Fed Chair Powell over renovation testimony. Justice Department probes Fed Chair Powell over renovation testimony. The Trump administration Justice Department, led by U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro, issued grand jury subpoenas targeting Powell's June 2025 Senate testimony on Fed headquarters renovation that ballooned from $1.9 billion to $2.5 billion due to issues like lead paint and asbestos. Powell insists no laws were broken and the central bank must stay independent. While President Trump distanced himself from criticize Powell's performance, the probe received calls to end the Fed, with figures like Glenn Beck and Senator Mike Lee arguing for more constitutional control over money, though former Fed chairs and some Republicans warn its risk market stability.
What is the president really doing? And what is the Fed really doing? The founders understood the danger of a federal bank and a federal institution, because
so that's just more deeper about the Fed, more deeper information about the Fed. We ain't going into that today. HUD identifies over 85 million ineligible welfare assistance to Minnesota, including payments to deceased descendants. This is going to be our last story of the day. Double tap at the like button. This is going to be our last story of the day. I really wanted to get into this. We didn't get into Iran 25. I talked about Iran and 25% tariffs, but that story flew away. All right, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. This fraud. Let's get into this fraud, man. HUD identifies over 85 million in ineligible welfare assistance to Minnesota, including payments to deceased tenants. Remember when Doze told us about that? The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development uncovered over 85 million likely improper welfare assistance distributed to Minnesota, including 496,000 paid to 509 deceased tenants. The irregularities involve programs for food, housing, Medicare, and child care, with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota implicated in links to Somali community. Public officials, including Senator John Kennedy, Representative Ilhan Omar, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, and Minnesota AG Keith Ellison responded to the findings.
Boots on the ground in Minnesota. And through our fraud prevention, we have found that there is likely over $84 million in ineligible assistance that was given to the state of Minnesota during the Biden administration, including almost $500,000 in improper assistance to over 500 dead tenants. And so you think about that, Tony, over $84 million of hardworking taxpayer money that was shelled out during the Biden administration in improper assistance and serving over 500 dead people with almost $500,000 of assistance. This is a lack of stewardship. It's gross negligence. But I'm grateful at this time that our team on the ground has found these improper payments, and we will hold those accountable that are responsible for this. We have boots on the ground in Minnesota, and through our fraud prevention, we have found that there is likely over $84 million in ineligible assistance.
So when we talk about the fraud, it keeps getting broader and more expansive. We're not just talking about fraud in one area in Minnesota.
You know, the American people are selfish. We spend over $1 trillion a year helping our neighbors who are less fortunate than us, mostly the poor. In our country, I've said this before, if you're hungry, we'll feed you. If you're homeless, we'll house you. If you're too poor to be sick, we'll pay for your doctor. Other countries let their fellow citizens die in a ditch. We don't do that in America.
That's right,
American
baby.
people have stepped up to the plate.
That's right, baby.
So when people steal this money,
tell them
this $1 trillion plus a year that we spend helping our neighbors, when people steal that money, it offends me.
Me
When
too.
They steal from the poor and they steal from the American taxpayer. It offends me equally. And the folks in Minnesota and elsewhere who stole this money, who took a giant Great Dane whiz down the leg of every taxpayer and poor person in America.
That's right.
Every one of them ought to go to jail.
Every one of them ought to go to jail. Do y'all agree? One in the chat if you agree they should be prosecuted. One in the chat if you agree. Should everybody go to jail? One in the chat if you agree. One in the chat if you agree, man.
I get a little upset when some...
Following the money, there are evidently some disturbing tapes of A.G. Ellison in meetings with people who donated to him, them calling for political favors to stop the investigations. So we'll see. But again,
did you hear that? Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett just confirmed tapes exist of Minnesota AG Keith Ellison taking payoffs to shut down investigations into Somali fraud.
Following the money, there are evidently some disturbing tapes of A.G. Ellison in meetings with people who donated to him, them calling for political favors to stop the investigations. So we'll see. But again, I don't want to get out ahead of the investigations. It's going to be very methodical. And Chris, I can guarantee you, when the bear trap snaps, we're going to get these folks.
When the bear trap snaps, put it in the chat. Bear trap, bear trap, bear trap. Bear meat tastes good to me. 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 I think that's it. Oh, we got lucky. We got lucky. We got Ilhan.
In trying to ask what any of this, information has led to you finding any criminals that you have indicted that explains why you are wasting so much of our taxpayer resources and also terrorizing our communities.
What is she talking about? We got 100 people arrested. We got fraud from Feeding Our Future, fraud from medical transportation, fraud from daycares, fraud on top of fraud. We got 100 people indicted. One of the people indicted was the owner of the Safari Club where you had your campaign victory at. One of the people indicted was one of your campaign advisors who helped get out the Somali vote, who work for you, who you pay. What is she talking about, lady? Let's listen to this woman, this crazy woman who needs to be elected out of office and sent back to Somalia.
I'm so exhausted in trying to ask what any of this.
She's exhausted. See, is this real? Is this she's exhausted? He just said how many billions? 84. They just keep uncovering more fraud. I just played to you fraud and HUD. So they still in the HUD housing, they still in the food, they still in the welfare. And she said she tired. We tired of finding out how much money y'all done stole.
I'm so exhausted in trying to ask what any of this, information has led to you finding any criminals that you have indicted that explains why you are wasting so much of our taxpayer resources and also terrorizing our communities in the amount of federal law enforcement agents that you have in the streets of our city and our state. There needs to be some sort of justification. I'm so exhausted in trying to ask what
I love my chat. Some type of justification. I'm going to read AP3's comment for the justification. She said she wants some justification. The justification is the Leering Center. The justification is the Leering Center, right? That's the justification. The Leering Center is the justification. That's Lamp. That's Lampy. That's Lampy. Leering Center fraud. She says she wants justification. This is my justification right here. LEA. Can we give her some Leari? That's the justification right there. That's the judge. She said she wanted justification. Leering Center. Leering Center. $1.9 million to the Leering Center. $1.9 million.
This, information has led to you finding any criminals that you have indicted. That explains why you are wasting so much of our taxpayer resources.
Did she just say that? Oh shit! Oh, she's a fun. So we're wasting everybody in the chat. Do you? Even the people who don't like me, you gotta love this. She is saying that we are wasting taxpayer resources. You gotta love the irony, right? She is saying that we are wasting, not the people who stole the billions of dollars, lied about autistic children, lied about children in daycare, lied about feeding children, lied about taking old people to the emergency room. Those people were wasting the money. Those people, no, Trump and the federal ICE agents doing a mandated job, going after fraud, going after people who came here during the Biden-Kamala era. Those people are the people wasting money. Am I hearing this correct? Let's listen again. Maybe I got it wrong.
Wasting so much of our taxpayer resources and also terrorizing our community.
Wasting taxpayer. The irony, man. Yeah, it's gaslighting, man. With Trump, who is the duly elected president, 80 million people elected him, right? Federal agents, remember I told you about the law of supremacy. Federal law is supreme, and federal agents are actually empowered by the Constitution. Local police officers are not empowered. So in that situation, the reason the police officers are standing to the side is because federal law is supreme, and the federal officers are actually empowered on a higher level of constitutional authority than local officers. Did you guys know that? So she's saying that federal officers empowered by the president and the Constitution is wasting taxpayer dollars that are here to arrest billion-dollar fraud and deal with the immigration where Kamala herself said don't come. Joe Biden and Kamala admitted that an immigration that got out of control, but they were unable to close the border. Why? What's the short memory of the Democrats?
In the amount of federal law enforcement agents that you have in the streets of our city and our state. There needs to be some sort of justification. I'm so exhausted in trying to ask.
There needs to be some type of justification. I'm not going to say nothing mean, but you need to justify why you're in office. You need to justify why you are in office. Straight up.
Political class, from the governor on down, appears to be at a minimum to have turned a blind eye. There are rumors circulating around this building right now that in fact some have been complicit in these schemes. Is that something your office is looking into, and what can you tell us about it?
Again, that's part of following the money. There are evidently some disturbing tapes of A.G. Ellison in meetings with people who donated to him. It's all, whether it's over the two counties here, in Minneapolis, St. Paul's, or whether it's to East Africa. And there's tons of luxury properties, cars that have been bought over there. And how the hell did this happen? How did it happen? Like, President Trump is outraged. I'm outraged. The American people should be outraged. People of Minnesota, I'm glad that they kind of got their mojo back, because again, the American people are the most generous people in the world. You just can't take advantage of us.
That's going to be it, man. I'm going to end it right there. I don't think nothing better. I'm outraged too. The most generous people in the world. I'm going to end it right there. The American people are some of the most generous people in the world. Just don't take advantage of us. And an example of that, Donald Trump just ended the temporary protection for Somalians. 3,700 Somalians have to leave by March 17th. They have been here under a protected status since 1991. What did they do with that gift? What did they do with that gift? They did this billion-dollar fraud. So Trump just removed it, and Biden extended it in 2024. Trump just removed it. 3,700 Somalians need to leave by March 17th under Trump just ending the temporary protection. What the Homeland Security has said is it was instituted in 91 because of civil war in Somalia. What we're saying is Kristi Noem said temporary means temporary. And the situation in Somalia has obviously improved because they got $1 billion investment from America. They got billions of dollars that they stole, luxury homes, like just reported by Scott Bessett, luxury homes and cars, so they can go their ass back home. Kristi Noem said temporary is temporary. Somalia is not struggling anymore, so y'all can go back, right? Y'all been sending money. Y'all been buying homes and luxury items from stealing away from America, allegedly. So the temporary protection has been ended. They have to go back home by March 17th, and that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. So anybody watching thinking that Trump, because remember I played, they said, we're tired of the hearings. Like, we're tired we want action. We want something done. We're going to remove the temporary protection. 3,700 people got to go. And if you want to know how ICE is being so successful, there's reports. ICE is not walking up to Mexican people. ICE has a list. ICE has a list of names of people that have committed a crime after they've entered the country, right? So if you enter the country without a legal process and then you commit a crime and get arrested, during the Biden era, they were given something called deportation orders, right? Biden asked them to self-deport, but Biden did not deport anybody, right? Biden opened the borders. Some of the people who came here got in trouble. I'm not saying that they were bad people. I don't know. Everybody gets in trouble sometime. Biden opened the borders. Some of the people who came here got in trouble. When they got in trouble, they got arrested. They saw a judge. The judge said, you're not a citizen. You have to go back to your country of origin. They gave them a date and a time to leave. Just like these individuals have been given a date of March 17th to leave. The difference with the Trump administration and the Biden administration and how ICE has been so successful, ICE is going from city to city with a list of names of individuals who have deportation orders. They are knocking on doors. They are pulling over vehicles attached to these names. If a person with the deportation order has an address, it doesn't matter if they have a job. If a person with the deportation order has an address or a car registered to the name of the person who should be leaving, the ICE agents are knocking on that door. The ICE agents are pulling over that car. Hi, my name is Federal Agent Perfect Timing Podcast. I have a federal warrant for the arrest of the person who owns this vehicle. What do you mean? The person who owns this vehicle entered the country illegally and was arrested and was asked to self-deport and did not self-deport. What is your name, sir? And the guy answered, my name is that person on the paper. I am the person who registered this car. And then they put him under arrest. And then he started crying and yelling and screaming, I'm a citizen. And the ICE agent told him what he was doing. We pulled you over because this license plate is tracked back to an individual who has deportation orders. That's what ICE agents are doing, knocking on the doors of people with this list. And so they asked the young man, we're looking for this guy who owns the car. You could be driving the car. It may not be your car. You may not be the guy whose the car is registered to. We're just saying that the only reason I pulled the car over because it's registered to somebody who should have left the country. Is your name blah, 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 blah? And the young man said, yes, this is my car. And then the ICE agent put him under arrest. This is what's happening. That's how they get thousands of people in a matter of days, because they are actually going to the home, and these people are so comfortable that they're driving the car, they're living in the house. They're driving the car that is registered as an illegal person. They are operating a vehicle in America under a driver's license from a Gavin Newsom, from a Tim Walz, even though they're not a citizen, and they have gotten arrested. So the ICE agent is just going through the system, looking at the driver's license, looking at the address, knocking on the door. Hey, this is ICE. We're looking for Eduardo. He got arrested. He came across during the Biden era. Biden gave him paperwork saying that he had to self-deport. We don't think he's here, but is he still here? And guess who comes to the door? Eduardo comes to the door. Eduardo comes to the door. What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Hi, this is ICE. I am here because I have a warrant for Eduardo. He was supposed to leave the country. Hi, I'm Eduardo. Come with me, please. I don't understand how this is difficult to understand. How is this difficult to understand? Eduardo is the name on the warrant. Eduardo says, yes, that's me. And he doesn't even fight the ICE agents. He goes quietly. He turns around. They put cuffs on him. Another thing you haven't learned is 5,000 arrests in Charlotte, Chattahoochee Crunch in New Orleans. You have Charlotte's Web in North Carolina, and that's 10,000 deportees in 5 days. Chattahoochee Crunch in New Orleans, that's 5,000 deportees in 3 days. How do you do 5,000 in 3 days? How do you do 10,000 in a week? You already know where to go. You already know where to go. These are ICE operations. That's why they blowing the whistles, because ICE rolls up quietly to an address. They already know where to go. And the people in Minnesota, they're blowing the whistle. The people in Tennessee, they're blowing the whistle. ICE rolls up to the address of a person who should not be here. How do they know that? It's because they've been arrested. They've been arrested, you guys, and they have their name on a list. And they knock on the door. And wouldn't you know it, the motherfucker is actually at home. I know the ICE agents are saying to themselves, why are they still at this address? Why are you still driving the car if you know you were told by Biden to leave and you haven't left? Maybe they think they'll benefit from a DREAM Act. Maybe they thought Biden was going to become president and he was going to help them. But this is how it's happening. They know who to go to because these individuals have broken the law and they've been asked to self-deport. They're not self-deporting. So ICE, I said this the other day, KMA, I said this the other day. I said, you think ICE are detectives? I said, you think ICE touched down in Tennessee and do detective work? No. You think that you can arrest 5,000 people in a week playing detective, asking where Eduardo is? No, you already know his address. You already have the DMV driver's license that was issued by the Democratic governor. You have all this information as federal ICE agents, because as a federal ICE agent, you can come in, overstate, and extrapolate whatever you need. I got all the information. I didn't even have to ask permission. I'm from the feds. I'm from the feds. I'm a federal agent. I know your name. I know everything, and I didn't have to ask. I don't have to ask. I don't have to ask. I'm a federal agent. I got everything. I know who you are. I know where you live. I know what you drive, and I know you were supposed to leave. I know you were supposed to leave. That's why I pulled you over. That's why I'm knocking on your door. And I don't. If more people understood the process, I would hope that they would stop protesting, because no one is riding around the city just randomly looking for Latinos. I said from the beginning, it's never been about Mexican Americans. This has never been about Mexican Americans, right? It's been about, Trump really started cracking down when we heard about the car accident. Remember, Gavin Newsom gives out CDLs to non-citizens. Gavin Newsom and Colorado, Donald Trump stopped 41 million going to California because California gives out CDLs, not regular driver's licenses, to people who can't read and write English. And one of the people that Gavin Newsom gave a CDL to, who wasn't a Mexican American, they were from Yemen, they were from the Middle East. They were in Florida and made an illegal U-turn and killed Americans. That's one accident. There were actually two. There was another accident from Gavin Newsom's California, CDLs, where in Southern California, he made an illegal turn and he killed Americans because Gavin Newsom gives out CDLs. These are realities of what we're dealing with. This is why the ICE is in these locations to save us, Save us from people who have CDLs who should not have them. Save us from people who have driver's licenses who should not have them. Save us from fraud, people who are on welfare who should not be on welfare. And I just think it's odd that Mexican Americans who are citizens, who America loves and appreciates, are being antagonistic to ICE when it's not about you. They're not in Minneapolis for Mexicans. They're in Minneapolis looking for African Somalis, right? They're not looking for Mexican Americans. And it just seems odd, man. Oh, somebody want Californication for the nation. Somebody want Californication for the nation. They want Sacramento and Kansas. Put a one in the chat if you want Sacramento and Minnesota. Put a one in the chat if you want Sacramento and Arkansas. Put a one in the chat if you want Sacramento and Alabama. Put a one in the chat if you want San Francisco and your city. You want to I just watched a video yesterday of San Francisco. You know, anybody ever been to San Francisco for tourism? Pier 39. I just watched a video yesterday where a famous restaurant, you know, that restaurant on the water, the Grotto already closed, Fisherman Wharf already closed, but that famous restaurant by the Embarcadero, that closed. So there are no more restaurants in San Francisco. Downtown San Francisco used to have all these restaurants. You get the boiled crab. And I just saw a report from a YouTuber, independent media, that the last nice restaurant on the water closed down. I told my wife about the Cliff House. We used to go to the Cliff House, and they don't got the Cliff House no more. So they want San Francisco everywhere. You want no Walgreens. You want no shopping, no restaurants. You want homeless. You want feces on the ground. You want San Francisco and Kansas. You want San Francisco and Alabama. You want San Francisco and, you said Gavin Newsom, right? You want San Francisco and Arkansas. Just say it. You want San Francisco. You want the same thing that's happened to San Francisco. No, don't California my Florida. That's what he wants. There are no restaurants. There are no Walgreens. I said the last Denny's closed down. There are no restaurants in San Francisco because it's so bad. This is what the Democratic policies got us. All the Denny's are closed. All the because you can steal up to $1,000. So the Walgreens, the CVS, everything closed. No more Denny's. And I just reported that beautiful restaurant on the water, there's a bunch of them, but now they're all closed. Is that what you want? Because that's what you'll get with Gavin Newsom. Do you know what you would have got with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? You would have got this social welfare program on steroids. The same social welfare programs that allow for this fraud, they would have went nationwide. These loopholes would have become, because Tim Walz would have been celebrated. If Tim Walz would have won, people would have said, Tim Walz is a great governor. These programs have been successful for the Somalians. We should implement them across the country. We were that close. We were that close to Somalians taking over the country. If Tim Walz would have became vice president, how much you think the fraud would have went, and how far would they have gone to cover it up? Because we're learning now that Tim Walz covered up the fraud. They had a whistleblower on X. So if Tim Walz would have won the vice presidency, how far would, and think about the Russia hoax when they lied about Donald Trump collusion. Think about what the Democrats actually have done. How far he already was lying because he was running for vice president. If he would have won, how far would they have gone to cover it up? Think about the Russia hoax. Think about them lying about the Hunter Biden laptop. Think about the Hillary Clinton server. Think about all of the things the Democrats have done. Think about Arctic Frost. Think about these secret investigations into Donald Trump. Think about Michael Cohen. Think about Stormy Daniels. Think about Jeffrey Epstein, Stacey Plaskett on the phone during the 2019 investigation. Think about everything the Democrats have done. How far would they have gone if Tim Walz would have won vice presidency? To cover up that you never would have learned about it, bro. Not to say that it's not real, because Jacob Fry just admitted on my program the corruption is real. I argue we never would have found out. I argue we never would have found out. Thank you guys for watching. My dog is barking up a storm. I'm about to go let my girl in. I'll miss her. I love her. I have a beautiful Aussie door, Australian Shepherd mixed with a lab. Aussie door. Her name is Pippi, like Pippi Longstocking. We call her Pippi. When she was named Pippi, I got her from a preacher. I got her from a pastor. Really nice family, and he had a lot of dogs and a big property and a big church. So really nice guy. So Pippi's out there acting a fool right now. So I'm gonna go give her a big hug and a kiss because I didn't mean to leave her outside. It's freezing. I didn't mean to leave her outside. It's freezing. But I don't know how Pippi got outside. I don't know if she broke out. She's a super intelligent dog. Oh my God. So intelligent. Aussie. Just Aussies are she can open doors. She talks. She's amazing. So I feel like she's calling me because I love her so much. We're so close. So I feel like she's like, come on, in the podcast. I need to go come inside and get warm. And I tried to make her come inside earlier. She wouldn't come inside. But what time does live stream start each day? Between 12 and 1 p.m. Thank you for asking. Let me highlight that right there. Every day between 12 and 1 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sometimes I take a day off in the week. I try to do 3 to 5 live streams a week. I got a 5-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. Tonight is karate lessons, but as soon as I get off of here, I already went to the gym. So as soon as I get off of here, I got to start the enchiladas. So we're doing enchiladas. I already got the meat brine. I brined the chicken already. I'm going to do a mixture. Then last, I did some, what did I do last for my wife? My wife is Sicilian. I did chicken and dumplings this weekend. She said she wanted some chicken and dumplings. The chicken and dumplings came out fire. So, doing some enchiladas, some shredded chicken enchiladas. I'm tired though. It's 3 p.m. for me. When you start in Michigan, okay. Like your day is coming toward the end. Yeah, man. You know, I've been trying to find a sweet spot. I think we found a sweet spot going live around 12:51 p.m. So that's the sweet spot. Shout out to my brother, Mr. Boski. So yeah, every day, Monday through Friday, between 12 and 1. Today is karate. So my son has Taekwondo, and I love them and miss them so much. They're the best things that ever happened to me, the greatest blessings. That's why I always pray for Charlie Kirk's memory and Charlie Kirk's kids. Even for Renee Good, I always say I pray for her. I pray for her wife, Becca Good. I pray for her soul and her memory. I pray for her 3 children, man. It got to be tough. You know, the 6-year-old is orphaned because the father had already passed away, I think, in the military. So now, you know, I pray Becca Good, you know, she's going to have a lot to deal with, this trauma, because she was there. She saw it. The gentleman who actually pulled the trigger, I pray for him. I pray for his soul. I pray for his family. His wife has been receiving death threats. So pray for those individuals, man. Pray for their salvation. Pray for their souls, man. You know, pray a covering over all the ICE agents. Pray for their protection and safe passage while they do their job. I think people forgot that they're at work and they're doing their job. Nobody, you know, a lot of us have jobs that we got to do, you know. It's just the way we pay our bills. And so I pray for the safety of the ICE officers. We pray a covering over them and safe passage to and fro while you do your job and your duties. And we say a thank you to you for sacrificing and committing yourself to this public. I said the other day, my mom was a bus driver. She's a public servant. So, you know, I have a great affinity for public servants, man. I really support public servants. So we want to say thank you to the public servants and the ICE agents. And we say thank you. And we want to say thank you for your support. Your mom was a bus driver too. So you probably got taught about respecting public servants, respecting police officers, respecting the mailman, respecting the people at the courthouse. And, you know, my mom, you know, you don't disrespect a public servant. And I don't even know if people even use that term anymore. That lets you know my age. I'm an old buzzard, but that's the respect others. That's the way my mother raised me. You know, these people work for the public. Without police officers, firefighters, bus drivers, the society doesn't work. So a lot of their job, they give more than a lot of other people on the job. They never get paid. They never get paid and compensated to the point of which they give. Police officers give a lot more. Teachers give a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Firefighters give way more than they get back in a monetary payment. So we respect and we honor public servants because they serve the public. Because they serve the public. Because they serve the public. Right? And we thank them. We thank them and we support the ICE agents, the police officers, you know. I don't know why parents stop having these type of conversations with children. Like, if we were still teaching kids to respect others and to respect public servants, and this was, instead of saying they and them and all this blue hair, purple hair protester stuff, if we just and respect people pronouns and respect people and don't say this, that word is triggering, instead of respecting all this LGBTQ, to me it comes across as bullying. When you bully people, I think it was bullying that whole time when Biden was president. I feel like I was being bullied. Latinx and everybody changing all this terminology, and you're bullied into saying this or someone is offended. There were more important things for us to focus on. We could have been teaching kids civics. We could have been teaching kids respect public servants. Instead, we focused on they and them and pronouns and all this goofy shit. And old people like me, we couldn't even figure it out. And then Latinos was like, no one asked me. No one asked me if something was wrong. There's nothing wrong with being Latino and Latina. Why do we need Latinx? No one asked us. It was some weird shit that happened during the Biden administration. We don't even talk about it. We don't even talk about it. I mean, Spanish accounts for the male and the female. English doesn't even do that. English doesn't even have a feminine. But Spanish has feminine. Why would you want to correct something that's already perfect? Spanish already got it covered. Latinas, gorgeous, beautiful, powerful, intelligent, nothing less than Latino. Masculine, powerful, strong, intelligent, equal. Latino, Latina, equal. Why fuck with it? No, Latinx. No, Latinx. Or you're a homophobe. Why? You didn't even ask. Yeah, that was a nasty time. That was a nasty time because they didn't even ask us. It's almost assuming that Spanish is homophobic when it's not. When Spanish, the language already accounted for the feminine. When you bring in Latinx, you're saying that the language was lacking or the language was presidential. It never was lacking. You maybe could say, well, English doesn't have a similar Latino and Latina English, but Spanish does. It made no sense. I mean, when you say Filipino, why they never said Filipinx? Because it wasn't triggering. It was always to gaslight and bully you. Isn't it Filipina? I'm from the Bay Area. Isn't it Filipina and Filipino? Isn't it Filipina and Filipino? Why didn't they say Filipinx? It wasn't going to trigger enough people. Just like we learned about Ice Watch, all of this shit was designed. These were all things designed to bully you and push you. All right, I'm going to end the podcast. We did a great job today. I did a great job today. It's a distraction technique, it is. And I know people in the chat is pissed off right now because I'm so intelligent. They're going to be like, fuck, he just said Filipino and Filipina. They hate when I make my point. They hate when I make my point with intelligence. Because now what do you say? I seen it in the chat. I seen the way that I feel the energy in the room. I'm empathetic. I heard it. I felt it. When I said Filipina and Filipino, I felt it ripple. I felt the power ripple, and people just like grab their stomach and be like, ugh, I can't stand him. Yeah, Filipina and Filipino. Why didn't they push Filipinx? Because it wasn't designed, it wasn't never about that. Just like they didn't care about the Jeffrey Epstein victims. It never was about what they lied. It was always to trigger you, distract you, and push you, make you feel less, make you feel wrong, make you feel subservient. Oh, you need to submit to this new ideology, and you're wrong. Your way of thinking is wrong because you didn't never think of Latinx, and you walking around maybe believing it. Am I a bad person? Should I have been saying Latinx all along? Well, no, because they never said Filipino X, and now Latin people hearing me are saying, damn, I got played. Now Latin people listening to this are saying, damn, I did get bullied. I never thought about it. I did get bullied. Every day, Monday through Friday from 12 to 1. Y'all have a good day. Salute.